Hello everybody, this is the Retro Bear once again speaking to you from the safety confines of the Rescue Centre as we bring you another exciting episode of Desert Island Games, the series which is capturing the retro gaming community, and people are queuing up to get involved. And once again, we have an exciting episode with another thrilling YouTuber and some gaming history and some games to talk about. If it is your first time watching Desert Island Games or listening to Desert Island Games, the case may be, the concept is I bring on a YouTuber with their own gaming channel. We talk about some games, 6 of their favourite games to be stuck on a desert island with. And on top of that, they're allowed to take 2 of the games with them. One is a game which they may have played before and not finished or never got into or hadn't got the time to complete. And one game, because we don't want it all paradise. We don't want it to be all grass skirts and palm trees. We want it to be a little bit painful. So in there's a game which they just don't like at all. For some reason, it's managed to wash up on the shore overnight. And I'm really, really pleased to welcome my guest today because we've been trying to do something for a couple of years on YouTube together. More importantly as well, he's been following me and I've been following him since we've been pretty much started on YouTube. So it's a great thrill to finally, after all this time, welcome on that UK gamer, otherwise known as Martin. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Russell. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Thank you for coming and watching.
Yeah, well, I hope they will appreciate this as much as I am, mate, because this has been a long time in the making, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad we're finally starting to work together on these collabs. I mean, as you know, my self starts were a bit difficult, which made it hard to do a collab. But now we're getting there, especially as we're able to actually do stuff now as well.
Well, that's right. That's right. And probably a good time to do it as well, because over the last 18 months, as you said, it's been quite difficult to do it. But it's fun, the right thing to do as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to pick and choose what it is. But I'm thrilled you come on this. Like when I restarted this series this year, again, I had a list of people who I wanted to get involved in, but there were people I really wanted to get involved with, and you were right there. And we said we've been watching each other since we were in the low 50s, probably, haven't we? The subscriber wise and things like that.
I reckon in my case it's probably even lower than that, because I mean,
is it really?
Yeah. Well, my channel I think is free next month some point.
Right.
About the middle of August, I think it is. And I think you were actually one of the first ones, like when it's maybe 10, 20 subs.
Because I started probably about, if that was the case, and I was probably about 3 or 4 months before you started.
Yeah, I think you were, because I had gone back and watched like the older ones.
It's always a scary experience, isn't it? I've tried watching mine as well. It's like, hey, who is this person? Why are they doing it so badly? Where's the humour? Where's the spontaneity gone? It's not like it is now. No. But then again, I think everybody's the same, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, when I started, it was just after I'd finished going to my master's tutorial lesson things, but I still had my dissertation. So I'd sit there listening to music or say like your videos, for example, while I was working on them. Really good inspiration, because I was doing it on video games, my dissertation. So,
oh, right. Okay. Was useful then.
Yeah. So gave me inspiration as well.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I didn't put you off anyway, but that's the main thing. Hold me responsible for you failing your masters. No, I don't want that over my shoulder. Yep. So as we always do on Desert Island Games, I like to give my guests an opportunity to talk about the YouTube channel. The whole process of the sort of broadcast and the whole idea behind Desert Island Games is to talk about my guests' gaming history and their gaming experiences, their favourite games. If they got a YouTube channel, which pretty much everybody will have anyway, I always like to give an opportunity at the start for them to talk about their channel briefly. There will be a link in the description below to Martin's channel. You can always go across and have a look. But if you want to take the next few moments, Martin, to give people a brief rundown of what you do on YouTube.
Yeah. So currently, I'm mostly focused on video game pickups when it comes to gaming. I am trying to spread out. I know yourself and Al in the last episode talked about playthroughs and that on the game as well, on the videos. I haven't really done that as such, but I may do. Although I am leaning towards possibly doing some Japanese games I have, for example. Because
that would be good.
I think it'd be a bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a Japanese GameCube, Japanese 64. I can play Japanese Dreamcast games, and I've got games which are exclusive to them regions. So I'm looking at doing more foreign game stuff on there. but most of it has been pickups, mostly from charity shops. Although there have been, say, CEX, cash converters, sort of thing. We're not fancy enough to have a cash generator around here, so I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
We've only had one recently close by to us, but that was it's been taken. It was an independent shop that's been taken over by cash generator now, and it's nowhere near as good. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's just not as good.
Yeah,
the same people that work there.
I have no idea. I know I've seen other people mention them, and I'm guessing it's like cash converters sort of thing, but I don't know what it's like. I've never been there.
It's exactly the same. But sometimes you do find the prices sometimes are quite good. There used to be one right in my town centre, and it shut down. That's a sign of things are really bad when a cash generator has to close its doors.
Oh yeah, I mean
that's really bad.
I mean, it's the same with I've seen a few charity shops close around me. I mean, I know it's been hard for them, but at the same time, you think, especially now, that's where people would be potentially going to buy clothes, and especially you can't try on expensive ones.
Yeah.
Or I'd have thought, or like looking for DVDs and that's something different. So it's hard. But on top of that, on the channel, I've also recently started going away, not totally going away from games, but gaming related stuff. So for example, I've recently started opening Pokemon cards on there, which is something I've been doing for the last 20 odd years. And I've seen people doing it, and it's something I've wanted to do for a while, so I've started doing that. Got the money to buy some cards now. Makes a difference. Going to be putting some of my manga on there, like talking about them, because some of them are gaming series. So I've got quite a few Zelda ones, for example.
Yep.
It's different in terms of what I've seen from a lot of gaming channels, because I've never really seen them mentioned, but it does still relate to video games. It's just and it's a passion I've had. I've been collecting them for I think about 13 years or so.
Okay, that's quite a long time then.
Want to talk about them, why I like them, and like how they tie into the games. For example, the Zelda ones are based on the Zelda games, but the plot's twisted a bit and all that, for example. And I think it's good doing that because it not just provides variety on the channel, but it introduces people to new elements of the video games, I think. Like ones they're not necessarily aware exist of.
I agree, and this sounds really good. I'm interested. I mean, it's not my area of expertise certainly, but that sounds like there will be people interested in watching that and finding out more about it.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of comments on some of the videos saying like, yeah, they'd like to see it. So I'm working on that.
Excellent.
What else is there? I've just done a couple of other odd videos. I've done live streams myself. I've done Swap Shop.
Yeah.
So I appear on a few other people's things. But on top of that, it's not on YouTube, but tied into it is I also stream on Twitch the games every now and then from my Xbox One.
That's right. I guess you do, yeah.
And I'm looking at eventually when I'm able to do that onto YouTube as well. Or even import the clips to show gameplay, but it'll be like specific clips of like, say, something stupid or funny that's happened on one of my games.
You got a lot of stuff planned then.
Yeah, but it's because I want to have, like, partly I want to have variety. And also I think you're going to get people who like games, but like specific things.
Yeah.
So it's like catering to a few different audiences and maybe giving them something they're not going to see somewhere else, but it's still in the general gaming environment.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, I've tried it myself, and sometimes they're more satisfying. People, if you do games for so long, people know what to expect, and that's coming up. But if you try and vary things a little bit, and I've got a lot of other interests, so I can push myself out into that. That's what I've done, and that's what I want to do a bit more of, certainly going forward anyway. The gaming stuff will still be there, but there may be other stuff as well.
Yeah, because I know I've seen, was it the wrestling, or was it on yours, I think?
Yeah, I've done the rest. I've still got loads of wrestling videos to go through. That was a mere fraction of what there was. But I did my Doctor Who videos. I did my Carry On DVD collection. And I've had an idea this week or last couple of weeks or so, which I'm not going to mention now because I don't want to sort of say something that people expect it. But if I want to do that, that's going to be at least a 4 or 5 part series, just doing that on what I know and what I've got one to show off. So yeah, you just as you get into it, you find your feet, you test the water, you think, well, I can try and do this. And a lot of other channels that do gaming, they also do their own stuff as well, don't they? So we're not doing anything different if we did that.
Exactly. I think it gives like your channel your own individual personality. Like you rub off on it, so you know it's yours.
That's it. And sometimes these things take off, and they can be more successful than the gaming stuff you're doing. So we'll have to see, won't we? But I will certainly watch your channel with interest to see what happens and what you manage to pull out on those. As I said, link to Martin's channel will be in the description below. Go along and see what he already does. There's some great humour in your videos as well, mate. I've got to get that in. You always make me laugh with the things you come out with. It really is brilliant. And I tell you mentioned the live stream as well. Just before we get started, mention that live stream you did on your own, where you just answered those questions for about 5 hours. One of the funniest things I've ever been part of. That was, we were just sitting asking you questions, whatever could come into our heads, and you were answering them. It was just I gave up. I think it's quite late. I gave up about sort of 1:45, and then I found the next day you went for about another hour after that as well. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, it feels like it's ages ago. It was a little while ago, but it feels like it's even further back. But
yeah,
I enjoyed it, not just because it was funny, but it was good to interact with everyone.
Yeah,
and then
there was a lot of people there.
Some of the questions were random as anything.
I think that's what we were doing, just to see if you'd answered them. Because you're doing the gaming stuff. We thought, let's just answer a question here. If a tree falls over in the wood, does it make a sound? And he sort of thought about it and said, well, I don't know. It's like, he's answering anything here. And it's like, ask him another one.
I might have to do another one of them. I was thinking something like that, actually. That was quite fun.
Yeah, it was. It just do a random question and answer session. We'll just ask you anything.
Yeah. I think it's like, it's not I don't mind like question and answers about games or about me, but it's just, I think, different just to like spread it out, see what random stuff people can come out with, and what random responses I could come up with as well.
And I think you're the best person to do it with as well, because some other people might have thought, oh, hang on, let's get a bit silly here. I'll try and turn it back towards gaming. But you were just game for anything that we threw at you. And I think you were sober. I don't think you were drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely sober. So I think I can't be fact you drunk an awful lot before and then went on YouTube drunk and did a stream. No, it was like you were completely stone cold sober, and we were like, yeah, this is really good. It's the best thing we've ever seen. It was brilliant.
Oh yeah, I get like that. I don't know if it's just me going over the top or what, but I just come up with all sorts of random stuff. What was funny, I thought, was when I was doing my master's degree. I did it near me, which is convenient, but with people from all over the world. I was pretty much, I think, the only one from my local town where the university was based.
Right.
Otherwise, most people were like from China. We had people from America, like across Europe and that. And they'd ask me questions, and I'd come up with these random answers, and they were all like, "What?" It was so funny. Like, and then I'd have to explain it all. I'll give you one example, which is the one that stuck with me. We were talking about films, and they were talking about Marvel and all that. And superheroes, and they said to me, "Oh, what's your favorite like superhero?" Well, I'm not really into superheroes, but I was tempted to say to them, "Oh, Power Rangers, it's the one I watched when I was a kid." But I thought about it, and I went, "No, I went Banana Man."
That's a typical you answer. That is yes.
But what was even better was they didn't believe me. It's a thing.
It probably didn't get very far. It wasn't sort of worldly known, was it? It was very much a British thing, Banana Man.
Yeah. But then I was like, no, it's true. I'll prove it. And I played an episode in the pub just to show them it. And I don't know what sort of impression I left after that of me and like Britain as a whole, but...
Oh, dear. That's brilliant. I wish I'd seen that. The thing is, when you say something like that, you're then going to go try and back it up and prove it, haven't you? Oh, you're Banana Man. And then they're like, what's Banana Man? We never heard of Banana Man. Show us Banana Man. And it's like, oh, crap, I've dug myself a hole, haven't I? Sort of things I'm trying to get out of it. Oh, that's brilliant. That is really good. That's a good one. That's a typical you answer. That is just that's great.
That's what my girlfriend said to me as well. when I told her about it.
Well, not so your fiance.
Well, yeah.
Should we say now if anybody hadn't
I
heard the
forget
news?
the time, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Your fiance now. If you haven't heard the news, Martin has popped the question to Retro Crazy A. Is that right? Isn't it Retro Crazy A?
Retro Crazy Gaming, yeah.
Yep. And she said yes.
Yep. I haven't got a ring yet because I know I'm allergic to some metals, but I don't know what.
Oh right. I'll just get a plastic one. Be fine.
Yeah. Well, we were going to go with the plan B and just go a Haribo ring.
That's good enough for me.
Looks good and it's tasty.
Yep, you can wear it and you can eat it if you get, and they're easily and cheaply replaceable as well.
Exactly. I'm going to buy a box of like 600 for about
plentiful supply. Yeah, have one a day. Just keep changing it.
Yeah, in the last couple of years.
Cost you a fortune in Haribo's, but it's less expensive than buying a ring. Anyway, that sounded like I had a pair of cheap arses. Let's crack on with this show. She's probably regretted that decision now. They're going to do what? He's going to buy me what sweet rings? No, I want a proper one with diamonds and things in it.
I did actually jokingly propose to her before with a Haribo ring, and put a picture of it on her thing, and people actually thought I had done it. Proposed with a Haribo ring.
Again, that's a very you thing to do. That is. Oh, this is superb. We haven't got started yet. We're all off on tangents, but this is great. This is why I wanted to do this. This is just fantastic. Right,
the tangent's your thing.
Yeah, what it is, you can't do one of these without having a tangent. You can't do a podcast having a tangent or a live stream without having a tangent. Everything I get involved in has got a tangent, but sometimes the tangents are fun. You end up going somewhere completely different if you'd never have gone before, and you want to tap something else that you wouldn't have thought of. So, tangent away. But yeah, if we can try and keep it below 5 hours, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on with your gaming history then, because this is where we always start with the guests. And we had a quick chat about it before, and like we always do, so I know what you're going to say and got an idea, and I can think about things myself. And the first one you started is a system I know an awful lot about at the moment. That's what I'm heavily investing my time in. So what was your first system then?
Okay, the first system for me is the Sega Master System, specifically the Master System 2. It was
not the Master System 2. Oh dear.
The small one with the flap. Yep.
Yeah. Not my favourite looking console, but anyway.
I don't mind it personally. I think it looks quite nice. I mean, space-wise, it's better than the first one, which is good for me, to be honest.
Yes, it's quite long, that other one. It's good. Very strange design, but I like it. I like that old school design. The one with the flap on, I've said it before. It's not my choice. Anyway, sorry.
I do think the first one has more of a retro look to it, admittedly.
It does.
But, yeah, Sega Master System 2, I got it was about 1992, so I was about 5, maybe even 4, depends when I got it. And it was between me and my brother, and we got it from my parents for, I think it was Christmas that year. Might have been our birthdays, they're pretty close. And it came with Alex Kidd in Miracle World built in.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, as people may also know from the recent re-release or remake, if you've ever played it, it is a very good platformer, in my opinion. I know Knife Retro 1 loves it as well.
Yes, he does.
I've already spoken to him about the remake. And that may well have been the first game I ever played. Because the only other game I know that came with it when we got it was Sonic 2.
Oh, okay.
So Sonic 1 came later on. But with Sonic 2, I really enjoy it. I think I prefer the Mega Drive one, but part of the problem with Sonic 2 on the Master System I found was I could never get past the second zone purely because I cannot use the hang glider whatsoever. I've done it twice in my life, and I'm 34 now. It's quite an achievement when I do it.
I can't remember that. It's been ages since I played Sonic 2, so I've got absolutely no recollection on that.
No, the other problem I found was I later on played the Game Gear version of Sonic 2 on the Master System, and the resolution is so much worse than the Master System one. Even the first boss is really hard to do because you can't see anything. You just get bombs drop on you. It's like,
Yeah, it's a strange screen, that old Game Gear one. You know, now you can get these modified ones which are a lot clearer and better. You can probably see what you're doing, but I've got one, and I think, is my screen broken, or is it just this bad? And actually, it was that bad.
Well, I think with that, it actually was that bad because they included the Game Gear versions on Sonic Adventure on the GameCube, and it's just as bad on there. You can't see anything. You just suddenly the level where you are on the boss make up most of the whole screen. So you get very little time between the bombs hitting you. And whereas on the Master System one, you can actually see it in advance what's happening.
So a bit easier.
Yeah, that's one thing I've learned, but it doesn't mean I can hang glide still. I mean, there's other games we got later on. Double Dragon.
Classic.
Yeah. I've tried a couple of the other ones, like the NES one. I do not like it. I just like the Master System one out of all the ones I've played.
It's one of the more impressive conversions. I had the Amiga version when I was younger, and that was a terrible version of it. And the Master System one, I think, holds up really well.
Yeah, I mean, when I bought another Master System, which was about 10 years ago, I was like, I need to buy basically the one I had as a kid. So I bought a Master System 2 with Alex Kidd built in, and I went and bought Double Dragon. Made sure I bought Sonic 1, 2, like games I had from my childhood. And the other one I made sure I bought, which was from my childhood, is one called Time Soldiers. And I've hardly yet met anyone who knows of it.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
And I think it was an arcade game at first. And it's like a shmup going up screen, but you play as people going through different periods of time, like Samurai Japan, Ancient Rome, the ancient dinosaurs, and all that. And you have to rescue your comrades who've been spread out through time. And I'm not the biggest shmup fan, but for some reason, that one's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I've seen the arcade one, and I think I prefer the look and the sound of the Master System one. And it does play pretty well as well.
You do find out sometimes the sort of the pared down versions tend to be the better ones. And yeah, I've seen this game around, and I don't think it's particularly cheap to pick up. We don't see it very often anyway.
I think I have seen it. It was like £20-25, and that was a few months ago. Thankfully, I bought mine, I said, like about 10 years ago, and it cost me about £6 or something.
Well, that's all right then, isn't it?
But I think part of their Master System wasn't like, you didn't have many people going for it. And especially some of the obscure games like that.
Yeah.
But,
so a system with fond memories for you than the Master System.
Yeah, I mean, the first system for me, it's like, because it holds such special memories for me, it's why it's one of the two consoles I'm going for a full power set of.
And how are you getting along with that?
I'm not entirely sure how many I'm on. I'm on about 105, 110.
Oh, that's not bad going then.
Yeah, I think there's 269, I think.
I have a list here somewhere. I'm not sure if I wrote down a number on it. No, I didn't. That's useful, isn't it? I've got a list here of all the Master System games that came out. I'm trying to work my way through it at the moment. Are you doing boxed, or are you just getting the games as they come along? Or
I'm going boxed, but not necessarily getting a manual.
Okay, so and then the 100 or so you got are all boxed. That's pretty. Is that right?
Yeah, well they are, but I've got 2 or 3 extras that are cartridge only.
Oh, okay, that's like me. I've got a few cartridge only ones now, which I've upgraded some more of the boxes. So,
well, I mean, a couple of them were duplicates. Like I got a cartridge, say cheap, and then I found a box one cheap as well. So I've got a cartridge. So I think the only exception really is Alex Kidd and the Lost Stars, which my brother bought me from CX for like Christmas for about £4 or £5 2-3 years ago.
Right.
This is the only one I think I haven't got boxed.
Okay.
So
that's I think Lost Stars. Yeah, because there were 4 games, weren't there? Alex Kidd games.
Yeah, that High Tech and Shinobi, I think.
And Miracle World as well.
And Miracle World.
That's the 4, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Technically, I don't have that box. That's just built in.
Well, it is boxed. It's built into the Master System.
Yeah. But I mean, I want to get the proper box version at some point as well.
Yeah.
It feels like it won't be complete without it, I think.
I did see locally copy of, I think it was Shinobi World. But it was CEX, and I dare say I hadn't got the manual with it. I didn't even bother asking because I know what they're like in there. I thought they ain't got a manual with it. I'm gonna because the thing is, you go to the counter nowadays, and this is what I find probably a bit more strange, but because you're playing that sort of game, you may come across it as well. You go and ask him for a game they've never heard of before, or a system. Yeah. So I want to see a copy of Lemmings. I'll see your copy of Lemmings on the Master System. You want to what? What's it called again? Lemmings. How are you spelling that? Yeah, it's like, what? Don't you know about Lemmings? Well, of course you don't, because you look like you're born in the last 20 years, so you've never heard of Lemmings. Although I've heard of it.
I've had that, but I think it was for Nintendo 64 games. I think, which was just cartridge only. They had.
Mm.
I think it was something like a Star Wars game. I think it was like Shadows of the Empire or something.
Shadows of the Empire, yeah, I was thinking that, or what's the other one? Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron. No, I think it was Shadows of the Empire. Okay. And they were like, "What game is it?" I'm like, "The Star Wars one, right there."
Yeah. I did that the once. I was in a CX and I said, "Can I have a look at your Super Game Boy on the shelf?" And he's like, sort of turned around and said, well, "Which one is it?" I said, "That one there." No, left a bit, 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 right, down, there. That one there, the one that says Super Game Boy on the front. It's not as if it's an indistinguishable part. Yeah, that's why I stopped putting stuff in there. I'm not worth. If it's behind the counter, I'm not asking for it. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like down yours, but ones we've got in mind, like I say, all the GameCube, Master System, and all that are behind the glass counters. The GameCube wasn't, but they moved shops recently, like in the last few months.
All right.
And now they've gone from the shelves to behind the counter.
They tend to keep the GameCube stuff on the shelf around here, but they tend to keep all the expensive ones behind the counter. Yeah, so they more look beyond the people who work there, which I can understand, because I've asked questions before, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we had people coming in and nick the steel books, or just take the case because they got the loose game. Take the case, and now the game's worth 20 quid. They'll nick the case."
Yeah, what I don't get with my one is they had like Metroid Prime 1 and 2 in there, and for some reason they showed off Metroid Prime 1, I think it was, which is the cheaper one, like in the front windows, everyone can see, "Oh, we've got this brilliant game," and all that. And they tucked away the second one. It's like, don't you want people to see you've got this expensive game, because that's the one you want to sell if it sells for more, surely?
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's when, because they line things up so you can see them in the cabinet, they can't see. So then when you say, "I'd like to see that game, please," and you sort of like go to the beyond, and he said, "Third one down, third one." I had a 5-minute gesticulation with the girl in one of the six the other day about this one here, that one there, that Spider-Man, that was third one down. By the time she got Spider-Man, I had no bloody manual with it anyway. And that's when I gave up and walked out. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Master System's a great little system. I like the old look, I said to it, but a lot of people have played on the Master System too, missed the first one. You'd have struggled to have found somebody with the original Master System around it. My friend of mine did have one. We still pretty got it. But most people I know, like yourself, and we mentioned Nath, have got the Master System too, and that's probably the most common one people see around now. Yeah, and it's a great little system. It is.
I think I've managed to persuade my sister to get one, my brother to get one. I think we're looking to get my mum one for her birthday. She used to play Alex Kidd, play Sonic.
Oh, fantastic.
And I know my fiance's got one as well from when she was a child. So
yeah, it's a very popular system. Very popular little system, that one. And I can say it's very collectible at the moment. Load of people, load of gamers I know and people in the retro community collecting for that actively, which probably explains, one, why there's a dearth of the non-common titles available, and two, why the prices are through the roof at the moment.
Yeah,
because everyone's bidding on the same. Oh, that's a bundle with that in. I want that. Yeah, everyone's bidding on the same games. Anyway, right. So after the Master System, you moved on.
Yeah,
and you ended up with
an Amiga 500.
What a great one of my first computer, that one. So
yeah,
fond memories for me on that.
I think, if I remember rightly, my dad bought me and my brother it, and it was through the local classifieds. And I think it just so, by pure convenient coincidence, happened to be someone he worked with as well. And didn't find out, so he went and picked it up.
So did you buy it new, or was it sort of exchanged, or?
We bought it like off them second hand. when was it? It would have been about 98, I think. So it's a bit later.
90. Wow, because that would have been done and done by then, wouldn't it? 98.
I don't know why my dad bought it for us, but I'm glad he did because I really enjoyed it. In fact, I had a similar issue to Al, which was my mum decided she wanted to just sell it for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, right.
And she kept the money, so still a bit resentful about that one. And I've been like on the lookout for one for the last few years. So eventually, I want to get another one.
But I mean, 1998. I mean, that's quite late in the life. Did it come with a lot of stuff with it?
It came with a fair few bits. It had the external floppy disk drive. Also came like with the mouse and all that. It came with, if I remember rightly, one of the old dot matrix printers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like, and tons of paper. So you just like winding it, tearing the slips off.
That's real old school. That is. The first place I worked in, which would have been probably around about that time, I remember printing. It was before, laser jets were common and all that. We had a dot matrix printer to do the pay slips on. That's how long ago? 20, where are we? 23 years ago. That was.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was pretty much when I started secondary school. So it'd be about 98. But I mean, I had a good few games with it as well. We had Mortal Kombat. Not sure how appropriate that was for like an 11-year-old, but
I'm not sure. Was the Amiga version sanitized, or did it have all the blood in it?
I really can't remember, but I know I enjoyed it. I don't think it was.
I know the Mega
Drive
Drive version.
Blood.
Yeah, the Mega Drive version did. The SNES one didn't.
Yeah, I think it did have the blood. I think a good few of the games we had were like the ones that came with the magazines. Yeah. So we had, again, one's perfect for a kid. We had like fruit machines, pub darts.
Started you early.
For a kid.
Yeah. Was there a horse betting simulator on there or something like that as well?
Possibly. I know on the one with the pub dart and fruit machine, I think there was like 3 or 4 games, and they're the only 2 I remember. So, but I'm sure there were more.
Yeah.
I'd love to if I could get hold of that again. I think I did actually find a copy on eBay of that particular one, so I recognised the whole dart thing. But I think it was like 40, 50 pounds. It was like, what?
Yeah. But, good grief.
Yeah. I did find one game on there though, which I had, which was Zul. So I've got that now for whenever I find and get another Amiga. Yeah. And the other one I can think of was, we had Speedball.
Speedball, first one or second one?
First one, I think. But I didn't really play it much. I didn't really get into it back then. But I'm going to try it on the Master Systems. I've got them both now. Yeah. But the other one that really sticks in my mind is Pinball Dreams.
Yeah, a lot of people. One of my pet hates about certain games on computers is that pinball. I just don't like pinball games. My friend had an Amiga 500, I think it was, and he was always raving about Pinball Dreams and Pinball Fantasies, and I'd just sort of sit there and watch them play it for hours, and then thinking, it's pinball. I want to go and play pinball. I'll go and find a machine to play pinball on.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit harder being a kid, but
well, yeah, it appeals to certain people, doesn't it? So,
I mean, I've had a look for that one as well, and I have seen it for about 15, 20, I think, or not too much. So I'm looking at getting that soon because that's one I want to have. It's like, it's the same with the Master System. It's like, there's certain ones I remember from my childhood that I enjoy playing. So it's like, although I want to try different ones, it's like, at least I know I've got something then that I enjoy. And I know. So it's like a good reintroduction to it.
Yeah, I'd say, mate, so many games of mine, and I've tried to pick up by however means possible, pick up whatever I had when I was younger just to play those games again, and happy memories on that system. Just superb. My first computer, but I mean, I was always on it. Yeah.
Oh, well, we did make use of the dot matrix printer, by the way. We had a word processor.
Well, we had a word processor as well because my dad wouldn't pay for the upgrade on the memory. it wouldn't save anything.
Oh,
No matter how much how little you typed, how much you typed, because he hadn't upgraded to 1 meg at the time. We couldn't save anything. So all the educational software he bought with the Amiga when he bought it, completely useless.
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. When I was in year 7, which was about the same time, I think our IT in speech marks.
Yeah, in inverted commas, yeah.
Yeah, teacher was like, "Oh, you need to buy a computer to do homework and all whatever," and he would not have it when I was saying I can write the homework, but it'll be on an Amiga, it'll be on a dot matrix paper, it'll be a complete wrong format. I could do it. I can't bring it to you, but I can do it. And he wouldn't have it.
No. Again, when I went to university, I had to practically buy a PC to do my work on. Otherwise, I'd spend all my time down at university. I thought, I'm not doing that. So bought a PC instead. But
I actually did that towards the end of my bachelor's. It's like, because where we were in the public library, but we had our own floor, but we're open much later than everywhere else. So I just used to go there, stay there till like 10, which was near enough when the last bus home was. And it was nice and quiet. Security guy would come around, just say hi, talk to me for a few minutes. Yeah. Even recognised me and said hi when I came back 2-3 years later to the masters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it helps. It was local, so I still went there every now and then. But the problem I had was, just a little side in the uni was, as I'm sure a lot of people know by now, I'm also a big football fan. I support Manchester United and that. And I was the one getting disturbed doing my work by the tutor, wanting to talk to me about it. It's like, I'm the one who's doing the work, and you're talking to me. You shouldn't be like the other way around. That's
it, yeah. But well, your priorities sorted out here, yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, it is a great computer, and those who've had it have got fond memories. A lot of people haven't. I mean, it's. I think they missed out if they didn't have one of those.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're damn expensive to pick up now. They really are. I mean,
I think I saw them for about 100 odd on about 100 or so on eBay.
Yeah, I think if you're lucky, you can get them a little bit less than that. Maybe not the best condition of all. And of course, the thing is, well, if you try and run the original hardware, you're running the risk of, all the discs still up to it. There's always the option. There's always option of taking the hard drive out, the disk drive out, and putting the GoTech in there, so you can run like SD card through it and play all the games that way.
Yeah,
which is one way of doing it. If you find a cheap enough working Amiga, you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get it working how it's supposed to, that would be the preference. But it's like, I have thought about that as a good backup. So it's like, at least I can still use it. It's the same thing with the Dreamcast as well as a backup. No, you can do it from the SD card. But what I've also done with the Amiga is I kept an eye out, because there's a little chain which is sort of like CX, and they have a retro thing. There's some really random games in there. Like they have a fair bit of like the cassette games as well.
Really?
Yeah. I'll take a picture and I'll show you.
Yeah, please do.
I think they've got like Spectrum. I think they've got Commodore 64. I bought an Amstrad 464 game, is it? I think.
Yeah. CPC 464. Yeah.
Yeah. Scrabble. And
quality title.
Yeah. I've got a few Scrabble games, and I bought Bully Sporting Darts for the Amiga.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah. Which is
like £2. I bought it.
I thought there were two. There was one which was based on Bullseye, and I know another channel recommended to you. Jay is Manchild. He did a feature on the Bullseye games. One based on TV series, and one which was using Bully, but like a sort of a quiz type of thing with the darts on it going on.
I think it might be that one.
Yeah, did a good video on that one. I wasn't aware that Bully Sporting Darts exists until I saw that when you did it on the Spectrum. But yeah.
But yeah, I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I intend to.
I'm sure it'll be brilliant. I'm sure it will be. The question is going to be 30 years old. You do realise that, don't you?
Yeah. I'll give it a go. I like my quiz games and quiz nights. So
I love quiz games. I absolutely love quiz. I've got all the old quiz, the blockbusters, and Bob's Full House. Every second counts. A Crypt and Factor compilation. I think it is for the Spectrum, possibly.
Oh, nice.
going back years. But again, and the old Trivial Pursuit games as well. The Hit Squad Trivial Pursuit re-releases, got those as well.
Yeah, I've got a few of them. I've got like Star Wars. I've got France 1998 World Cup. I've got random
interesting
stuff.
one to have. Yeah, interesting one to have, that one. Yeah,
got loads of random stuff like that.
But you end up collecting random stuff. You can't get into this collecting business without collecting random stuff. You know that, and I know that, and everybody else listening out there will know that. They'll deny it, but they do know that.
I think I'm probably up there with like the king of random, like based also on the answers we were talking about earlier.
Yes, but the thing is, it's better to be random than follow what everybody else is doing.
That is true, because you're so different.
Exactly, it sets you apart from it. Everybody likes to think they're different, which is good.
Exactly.
So after the Amiga 500, we then move on to your next system. Yeah,
and this is my favourite one, and I actually got it pretty much the same time as the Amiga, I think. Mm-hmm. It was the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So you got that for Christmas. Actually, I reckon the Amiga was a little bit earlier than I thought. I reckon it's about mid-97, actually. Because I think we got the 64 just after, and that's for Christmas 97. So we were given the choice of either that or the PlayStation.
And you went with the N64. Most people about the N64 are saying, "Oh no, you went with the N64." But,
well, that's the thing. Like, although it's me, my brother, and my sister, I was like, I think go 64 because everyone I knew who had something had the PlayStation. Like, I think my cousins had it. A few people from school had it. I was like, let's just go to 64. Be different. And to be fair, I don't regret it one bit even now.
No. I think when you looked at it, if you wanted a pure gaming system, that's it, because you can't do anything else. It could just play cartridges. If you wanted a CD player or something that played VCDs, remember those? You go with the PlayStation, depending on where you were and what you wanted. I
mean, I think, although obviously the multi-tap was there for the PlayStation, I think it could kind of help having 64, like says us three and my mum playing, or like if my cousins came around, which was a regular thing. I said we're only about 10, 11, 12 at the time. So, but also I think as I was playing it, because the first game I got was Diddy Kong Racing, which came with it.
Yep.
Much preferred to Mario Kart 64. Don't care what anyone says. Diddy Kong's better.
I agree. I like both. That was the first version of Mario Kart I played on my own. And I then began to appreciate Mario Kart a bit more than I'd done previously, because I used to play it 2 players or multiplayer and was getting annihilated all the time. So you get a bit fed up after that, after a few years. So when I got to play Mario Kart 64 on my own, it's like, great. But then I played Diddy Kong Racing, I thought, God, these are really good. Which is a better game, but it's quite difficult for me to sort of work out. I have other versions of Mario Kart I prefer.
Yeah, definitely, same here.
But Diddy Kong Racing is I mean,
on the 64.
It's got to be up there on people's favourite list. Top games to the N64, that's got to be on there. Yeah,
because I think definitely against Mario Kart, it's better for definitely individually because it's got the bigger story mode. But also, I think I prefer the multiplayer. You get like more characters. You get more. I feel like you get more sort of diverse tracks. Like it's split into 4 areas, but they're completely different to each other.
Yeah.
And also, of course, you get the whole vehicle selection with the hovercraft, the planes, and the cars. Not I can do the hovercraft, but
planes hard enough.
I'm all right with the plane actually.
First time I was doing that, I was like,
the only time I was very good with the hovercraft was the first time I ever played it. And then after that, it went downhill from there. And my brother got really good at it. So mine was the plane, his was the hovercraft.
I think you make some good points there. The variety that you get. Mario Kart's all well and good, but it's the Mario universe, isn't it? Where you got Diddy Kong, you completely new different set of characters you know very little about.
Exactly.
Apart from a few of them, but very little is known about them.
The other thing I think is obviously Mario Kart has its battle modes, but that's all the same, just on a different map.
Yeah.
With Diddy Kong, there's 4 of them, but they're actually different. Like, say, some of them are pure battling, shooting each other. But there's also the first one, the Dinosaur World, which is where you're actually competing against each other to collect eggs.
Yeah.
Well, shooting each other. So it's like not all just go shoot each other. You actually have something you have to go and do.
That's right. That's right.
So I think I also prefer it because of that with the battle mode. And also, I think I like the fact you had the boss battles as well, which were races, but especially when I was younger playing them, some of them were actually quite challenging. I mean, you could argue it's more oriented towards kids. I mean, it's colourful enough. But having the boss battles, the tough battles, was something fun to do at the time. I mean, it's still fun now, but now obviously I know I can blitz them. So I've had like 20 odd years experience, but
that's right.
I never had anything like that when I did play Mario Kart. It was only ever when I played against someone else.
I understand. Yeah. It's that's great. Again, it's one of those games which I can't disagree with, and quite happily I own myself, and very much enjoy playing it. Without giving anything else away about the other some other games we might talk about shortly, what other ones did you have at the time?
We started off with Diddy Kong, and then I think that was the only one we had for a year, apart from my best mate had a 64, so we swapped him that for a month, and we got Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, which is where I first got it.
Yeah.
I think Lilac Wars and Wave Race, I think it was. It was either Wave Race or GoldenEye. Like, we swapped them for a bit. So I got to try all them, and they've all become ones I really like. I do still really like Mario Kart, just not as much. But Lilac Wars is one that I really enjoy.
I when I first picked that up years later, I remember putting the N64 on the big telly in the lounge and just sort of sitting there and playing it for about 2 hours. I was like, wow. And I don't usually do that. So I'll put something on, try it and see how I get on with it. And I'll try to come back to that, later, and never do. I just sat there and sort of playing. This is really good. It looks really impressive still, 20 odd years later, whenever it was. No, 12 years later, I think it was, I played it. But yeah, I just love that game. It's really, really good. Really fun.
And I mean,
I prefer it to the original. I've played
both the SNES ones. Starwing 2's on, it's on, I think, the SNES Mini and on the Switch Online.
That's right.
But yeah, definitely prefer Lilac Wars. Or should we just say Star Fox 64 for any American people outside?
That's true. Yes, we should do.
But I always wondered that for a while. Why? But obviously now we know. But the thing I found with that was some of it was actually really challenging again, especially for a kid. I don't know if you remember, there was, I think it's Sector Z, where you get the nuclear missiles flying at you.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I probably didn't get that far, to be honest with you.
You get waves of nuclear missiles flying at your ship, the Great Fox, and you've got to defend it. And it's that's actually not too difficult to complete. But where you get the medals to say, you've got so many kills, you've protected everyone, and unlocks hard mode. To get that is actually really difficult. It's one of the biggest sense of achievement when I finally done it.
Oh, we're just about to say that sense of achievement coming from doing that. Years before we had trophies and things. If you're playing on the modern system, you get a little trophy or some gamer score points or something. But that's all well and good. But to get that within the body of the game, and you actually feel like I achieved something. You then move on, don't you? So it's I
think the other thing with Lilac was where the Rumble Pack came in.
Yeah.
So, because the one I had back then was the bigger one with the Rumble Pack, and that was something completely different, to the Amiga and everything on the Master System, even any of the other 64 games I played, because we didn't get a Rumble Pack when I borrowed it off my friend. It's when we got our own copy for Christmas '98.
Yeah.
Which was I think the second 64 game we ever got. It was what is this?
Well, it's like when I played a DualShock the first time, I bought PlayStation DualShock controller, and I think I played Toka touring cards on it. I was just what is this? This is fantastic. Why has nobody thought of this idea before? And once you've experienced that, you can't go back to a game where there's going to be a rumble effect on there and play it without it.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Impossible
to do that.
I think another thing with that game, which is underappreciated at times, is the music. Some of the levels music or battle music, I think it's really good. Star Wars theme. I actually love that music, or the boss music. Some of my favourite gaming music.
No, I agree. So there was some great music in that game and on that system as well. So,
and of course the movie references.
Yes.
You had the Independence Day level. You had the whole escaping the Death Star scene.
All makes for a fantastic gaming experience, doesn't it? I mean, you can see why it's high on there. And again, it's not an expensive game to pick up that at all now. It's dead cheap, isn't it?
I definitely recommend it for anyone. I think it personally, I've played not all, but most of the Star Fox games, and I think it is the best one by a long shot. Definitely better than the Wii U one.
I haven't played any since that one. I've got the one on the GameCube. Is it starts?
There's Adventures, which is a bit more Zelda-like.
That's the one I got. That's one.
And Assault, which is more Light Wars-like. I actually do enjoy that one as well, but Light Wars is still much better, in my opinion. Yeah.
So you got quite a lot of use out of that. Then you got quite some really good games to N64 when it came out there.
Yeah.
Or during your time owning it anyway, so when it came out. But
well, we did. I mean, I can't remember what else we had. We got GoldenEye eventually. Got Ocarina of Time. Couple Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Extreme G's one that I think I mentioned on the previous video of mine, saying like random franchise I'd love to see a new game on, like the original Extreme G. And I think playing all these games, because there is quite a lot of variety, they are really fun to play by yourself for a line. I think it's a lot of reason why the 64 is my favourite console of all.
Yeah.
And also it's like why I decided that's another one I want to go for the set for. I mean, I've got my cartridges behind me.
Yeah,
and
which I can see. Yeah,
I know obviously people can't see it, but you've probably seen it in some of my videos. I think I'm up to 130 out of 243 games now.
So you're over halfway then.
Yeah, my aim is to do it so I need 100 by the end of the year. So about roughly 2-3 a month to get. But I've also got a Japanese one as well now, because there's loads of games that are like exclusive that are really fun. So there's a Pokemon Stadium we never got. There's Densha to Go's on there, which is interesting. Driving a train on my 64, I never thought I'd do that. But also, there's a load of games I've got on there, which are much cheaper than the UK versions. You do find that? Yeah, well, just put in perspective, I went to MTM Comic Con in London, and I'm glad I'm finally going back after 2.5 years in a few months. I bought loads of Japanese 64 games there, and I'm talking Paper Mario, Banjo-Tooie, Mario Party 2 and 3, Ocarina of Time, and a couple of Japanese exclusives like Mahjong and a puzzle game.
Yeah,
they cost me £30.
See, that's nothing, is it?
I mean, a lot of them are more than £30 by themselves.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I can read a fair bit of Japanese, so I can play them.
Yeah. You're lucky, because I bought the Japanese version of the last story for the Wii, just to say I've got it, because it was a tenner. Rather than, that was just a single version on its own without the special edition or anything like that. Yeah, and I can't read Japanese, so it's a bit of a mistake. But at least I can say, well, I've got it now. Yeah,
I've actually used it to help learn Japanese as well.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's like some of the games. Say some of them like Zelda, but also say some of my Pokemon DS games. Because I've played them enough in English, I'll be able to learn what the Japanese one is.
That's very true.
So it also helps if I know my opponent doesn't. It gives me a bit of an advantage. An unfair one. But...
Well, who says gaming is not educational? You've taught yourself Japanese in a way, just by playing games. Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. That's anybody who says it's anything different, he's lying, obviously. Okay, well, let's move away from the N64. Let's move on to some of your favourite games now. We'll start doing these. Do you want, because there are two games which are quite relevant to what we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about those two and then another one as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sticking with your system we're talking about here. I'll let you tell us what your first game is. One of your first games to be stuck on a desert island with is.
Well, my most favourite game is separate, but for the 64, it would have to be GoldenEye, because it's not just because it's one of those classic games for the console, and I definitely much prefer it to Perfect Dark, but I find it's, well, on a personal level, it has another use, which is I've always found if I'm getting either angry or stressed or whatever, I just like going on the streets level and running people over in a tank.
Now, it's a slightly worrying trait there. You're not like to try and do this in real life, are you? And try and find you get hold of a tank somewhere and just sort of drive around saying I've had enough.
No,
That's
not
good,
yet.
then.
Anyway,
Not there. There'll be a tipping point at some point.
but it's like it is just or stress relief, or I just like messing around on it, like playing the silo level and just having the infinite ammo and planting the C4 throughout the whole level and watch the whole lot go up at once.
Better some slowdown on that.
Oh yeah, but it's funny as you walk into a new area and just see exploding, people going flying. It's so funny. I have my own little thing, which is a little risque on there, but it's funny, which is where you get that missile on that level with the infinite ammo. I just keep planting C4s in the same place, and they come out, and it looks like after a while it's got a giant penis.
we are
coming towards you. It's quite funny.
We are getting a different side of you here, which I didn't think we'd tap into. To be honest with you, that's yeah.
Yeah, I've even got a name for it. It's the erotic rocket.
That could catch on. That could.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
You may find, and somebody may know. There may be already an adult product like that. I can't imagine there isn't. There must be, surely. You can get it at a sex shop or something like that.
Well, there was that rocket by the Amazon guy recently. People were saying that looked like one.
That's true, yeah. Bezos, when Jeff Bezos, was it?
Yeah.
Amazon, yeah. I didn't see it, but I have heard that.
It does a bit, yeah.
But well, it takes one to know one, as far as I'm aware. So yeah.
I do like the multiplayer and all that as well, though. And even just playing the normal game, it's like nice having these little fun bits. The other one being blowing the guy up on the toilet on this level.
Everyone loves doing that.
Yeah, I like to deliberately shoot his hat off first, then blow him up.
Just to rub it in a bit. Yeah.
But I love doing that as well, and it's just like the multiplayer. Apart from when someone uses Odd-Job, not then.
I was never a fan of the multiplayer. I always wanted to play the single player mode. So when I got my N64 years later, I mentioned this in the previous episode. I just enjoy playing the single player. I still think it's good.
It is. I really enjoy it, and it's like I know people say about graphics, but even though it's a bit blurry, it's like. I only really have problems with the text being blurry on there.
Yeah, this is a bit
it
of a
still
pain
looks alright for me.
Yeah.
And this is on a 50-inch TV.
Yeah. Do you play the remakes at all?
Yes. I've got the Wii and the 360 versions. I thought I struggled with the Wii one, but I think that's more the motion controls and everything. But the 360 one, I liked it, but in a way it didn't really feel like Golden Knight. I don't just mean the game, I mean just generally. It's not because Craig was there, but like say the levels, they're in different countries as well. I think is it like the final levels in Nigeria rather than Cuba or something? And then like the whole sun through the window thing is ridiculous, if I remember rightly.
Well, I can't remember.
I think that's on one. I think that's like towards the end of the game. There's a building and you get sun or something going through the building, blowing everything up. It's good as a game. It's good, but doesn't connect to Goldeneye to me. Yeah,
I think it's still good. It's still the original. Is still the best. Yeah. I like the Wii version, but I'm not overly enamoured with it. And as for the 360, I can't remember the 360 PlayStation 3 I got it on, but it doesn't feel like GoldenEye. I think that's the issue. You're trying to recapture that, and it's very difficult to do so.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is difficult to do so, but at times I think it also doesn't feel like a Bond game to me in places as well. It
feels like a bog standard first-person shooter. Yeah. That's the problem. It's like that's what Quantum. I mean, Quantum of Solace is a fair game, and I did a barely played on it. But if it wasn't a Bond game, would it be recognisable from everything else that was out there? Probably not.
I don't know. I know what you mean. I quite like that though. That game.
I like it. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just think it's. No. I just think there are better games out there. I just think if the Bond license wasn't attached to it, and if it was generic first-person shooter number 410, it would have been. That's what you call it.
I think from that perspective, I would agree with you. Yeah.
Blimey, we agree. There we go. That's worrying, isn't it? Someone's not just agreeing together, but agreeing with me. No one agrees with me on anything. It's the best way to be. But yeah, I mean, GoldenEye comes up on people's favourite games all the time. I know I've had certainly at least one previous guest who's mentioned it. And I like it on the N64, but I'm more of a fan of the single player rather than the multiplayer because, again, I was playing with a load of people who were hugely experienced playing it, and as I said, after a few hours or so, or a few weeks or so, getting consistently annihilated, it's a bit dull, really. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. A good game in its own right, and I think waiting ages to play that on the single player mode was justified.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with the N64 for your second game.
Yep.
Which this is interesting because I want to try and find out your reasoning on this one because I'm a fan of this series. I have a copy of this game, I think. So I'm just I think I played it, but your second choice
is International Superstar Soccer 64.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Why this one then?
Well, first of all, I'm going to shock people here because everyone knows that I collect FIFA games.
Yep.
But that's my favourite football game. ISS 64. I don't know why. It's just, I know it's more arcadey than FIFA, but there's just something about it is really enjoyable. Which is part of the reason why it's one of my favourite games of all. It's like you can have the snow when it's watching people fall over and the commentary to go with it. You can push the goalie over, which I found out later on by chance.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you walk up to the goalie, I think you press A and B, or actually any play. I'll press A and B and you just literally shove them to the floor.
I like the idea of that. Are the players' names in it? The real players' names?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
What they've done is they've taken real players, but like from the past, and then sort of either changed them slightly or given them like new first names. So England's main striker is Keegan, but it's T Keegan.
Right.
And I think the goalie is R Banks, for example.
Well, yeah, I can see why they've done that, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's on ISS 98 where you get sharing instead of sharing them.
Yeah, you get some strange ones on that one, and I can't remember now. Yeah, I used to change all the names anyway, so that was one good thing about that game. You could do that.
I mean, what me and my brother have done is we've just made our own teams from scratch. So I've gone for either weird names or sort of half clever names. And that's also one of the reasons why I like that game a lot, because you have that customization. So, for example, on my team, which is, I've done England, I've got my wingers. They're literally chicken wings because they're called Henshin and Poulet.
I love that. That's brilliant. But did you find when you played those games, the ability to change the names wasn't there? Were you disappointed with it? I know I was, because I mean I'm going back years, and the first football game I played on Commodore 64 was Emlyn Hughes' International Soccer.
Yeah,
and you could change all the players' names on that. And my mate used to spend all the time putting everybody into school who all the different positions, and that was it. And every single football game after that, I couldn't do that with. I always think, oh, that's disappointing. You can't do that.
Well, if I remember, with IC64, I think you can have one lot like that on the cartridge, and then you've got to use the memory cards.
Yeah.
So, if I remember rightly, and I think you can do two teams. So, me and my brother both got our own team. And then because what we can do is we can change the names or make our own players. So that's what we've actually done. The only problem is it's complete random how many points you get to put into their stats.
Right.
So my brother had a perfect player, like perfect stats as a goalie, and he was terrible randomly.
Well, so what sets this game apart from other ISS games, apart from the ability to change the names and push the goalkeepers over?
It wasn't the first football game I played, but it's the first one that I really, really enjoyed playing. It was like as I was starting to get into football, so I think it's in my head it's tied into that. And I actually got it at the same time I got Lilac Wars.
Yeah.
So it was just like a fun football game, because like although FIFA can be fun, it's like in a way I find it like real football. it was just, I think, the whole experience of how it was fun, like not even with the pushing over, but like how you can just tackle and slide and miss. And it's actually a very solid arcade game, like it handles really well. But also I have a lot of memories of when I got it, like playing with my brother. And it's
yes, it's a nostalgic game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still pretty much our go-to football game, to be honest, even now. It's just we've learned how to do stuff like, well, apart from push people over, like, say, control the goalies better, control the like swerves of the ball, little tricks like how to score from corners.
That's right, yeah.
But I think one thing that's always stuck with me, which I've really enjoyed about it, was I think the first game we ever had, I think it was like 3-3. And then the second game I won 13-3.
Wow.
And my brother only got 2 of his goals because by that point I was taking pity on him and scored 2 own goals on purpose.
So there's a tip there: don't play games with you, because if you get too good at them, you get cocky. But yeah, I mean, that's fair enough reasons for it. I mean, we all have our own favourite version of games, and I think a lot of people probably would expect you to have said FIFA. In all fairness,
yeah. I mean, I've played ISS 98 and 2000. I've played FIFA on the 64, but there's something about 64. I think being my first proper football game. That sticks in my head. Because the only one I played before, I think, was World Soccer on Master Games 1 on the Master System. And it's good, but I struggled with it, I think. Yeah, this was the first one where I could really get into it, enjoy it, and all that. And it was, I don't know, it's just something about it I really love. And I've actually got it now in Japanese, but it's not called ISS 64. It's actually something like Perfect J-League Striker, and it's the Japanese league at the time.
That's right, yes, I think you're right on that one.
So I need to try that. I haven't given it a go yet. But as far as I'm aware, it's literally the same game.
It's even pushed people over in it as well.
Oh, that's what I need to find out, yeah. Because before, what we used to was, we just used to slide into the goalies on purpose when they've got the ball. And you used to get like yellow card or red card. Depends on the ref, we learned. Yeah.
Oh, you always found that with games. You used to put referees in who you can guarantee. There's used to be the first game I played, the first play kickoff years and years ago. There was one referee in there. If you got that referee, if you were wrong on your tackles, you'd be losing players left, right, and centre. We could reduce that.
Actually, that's another thing about why it's one of my favourite games of all. Because with the settings, you can change them. So you can turn injuries off, you can turn offsides off. So, like, you can just do stupid stuff. You can just go hacking people like anything, no circumstance. We've gone stupid formations. I think I've had like 0-4-6. It actually worked. My brother kept getting offside. It was so funny. Or my personal favourite was I literally went 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
All at the middle.
You literally just saw the players all down the middle of the pitch form one solid line. It's just like nice little touches like that, which you can't do now.
Well, the silly, joking aside, that's the sort of thing when you get a game like that, which you're putting on this list, that you can do something like that because you played it so much and get more out of it, and you can do things that perhaps other people didn't realise that you could do. Yeah. So I can guarantee now, if someone who's actually listening to this will go away and do that and say, "Oh, yeah, we can do that," and they can get more out of the game. But yeah, that's the game that keeps on giving, that one, by the sound.
And I think the other thing is, it's one of the few games I've seen where I can literally swap, say, the goalie and whoever over. So obviously I can put the sub goalie up wherever, but if I want, I can just put my goalie up front and put the defender in goal, like just as I want. So it's nice things like that as well.
I can see you put a lot of time into this. So again, that's a good thing about it. If you put a lot of time into it, you got more out of it. So yeah, that's a good choice, that one. I think it might surprise a few people on that one. We'll pick one more off this list. Do you want to go back to your first choice?
Okay. Well, when I gave them to you, I didn't really think of them in order because I'm not 100% sure what my favourite game is, but I know it's like basically out of 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't a favourite game. This is sort of like we're in no particular order. We're jumping around because it was relevant to do the N64 stuff when we were talking about it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, well, the one I think is my favourite, I think I'll leave for now. But because we're going back sort of time, I would say the one that was from before then was Sonic 2, but the Mega Drive version.
Okay. Now, I don't think we've had that one before, which is... so we haven't had ISS 64. We haven't had Sonic 2 before. This game, I remember seeing it when it first came out, absolutely blew me away because there was a video strapped to the front of a Mean Machines magazine, and a friend of mine lent it to me. So I'll have a look at this, and just like, can't remember which level it was now, but you just sat there going, wow, look at this, how good, it's just like a rolling demo, just absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Really, really was. It's massive, this game, when it came up. This was one of the most anticipated sequels, I think, of all time.
And they called it Sonic Tuesday when it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only like 4 or 5 when it came out, but where I did my dissertation for my master's on video games, I learned a lot of stuff. I learned about like history of Sega and all that. So I was reading about all this sort of thing, like how it came to be Sonic Tuesday, how Tails' name came about, and all that. Which I think has improved it, or like enhanced it for me, like knowing, so this is how it's done, this is why this is this. But I think Generations pushes it for me, but I don't know if that's more because of nostalgia. But if it's a proper Sonic game, like Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive, it's just, I think it's the complete Sonic package for me, because the single player is really, really good. There's like some of the, in my opinion, some of the best platforming levels of all areas. I mean, Chemical Plant's my overall favourite ever.
Yeah. I must admit that scared me when I first saw it. I thought, how am I going to get through this? How do I know where I'm going, and just all the different ways you can go, and I used to get consistently lost on that.
Oh, it's easy to get lost on there, yeah. Half the time I don't even look, I just go like, I'm going this way. And then I randomly find new routes of like when I'm playing it. But I think the other thing with Sonic 2 is the music on there is classic. Something like the Chemical Plant music, the Death Egg Robot music. Obviously, Casino Night's a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, it's so easy to get lost on there. But I was going to say also, I think the fact they introduced the 2-player as well. Yeah,
you got that added element to it. I mean, obviously, first game was a single-player one, but this was just throwing that in there to infinitely make it far more playable and to get more mileage out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so keen on the Mystic Cave one on the 2-player, especially because it slows down. But the special stage, Emerald Hill, Casino Night, the other 3, it's really fun to do against another person. I mean, I think one of the last times I played it, I think it was glitching a bit. And what it was doing was, you get the item boxes, and you get invincibility, you get rings and all whatever. And the more boxes you get, that's a factor towards you winning. But this time I played my brother, every box was a switch. So every time when I've got a box, we were switching position throughout the whole game. And it took us forever to complete it, because as soon as we get somewhere, get a box and go backwards.
That doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it doesn't normally do that. Yeah. It wasn't even on anywhere with a setting on it, because it's actually on the Mega Drive.
Yeah. Perhaps you found something else. Perhaps because you played it so much, perhaps your copy's on the way out or something.
Maybe. Hope not.
Mind you, it's not as if you can't find a copy of it anywhere.
No, actually saying that, I've got a spare one. There was an unboxed one in CX for £1, and it turned out it was boxed. It's just a little dirty in the box.
So yeah, bargain, isn't it? Box game for £1.
And it's like, and Sonic 2 at that, it's like, yep, I'm having that.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't hard to find, and it isn't an expensive game. I was surprised actually how little it's worth. I thought it'd be worth a lot more than that. But I think it's the first game worth more than that. But I thought they're similarly priced. I think it's
worth a tiny bit more, like a couple of quid more.
Three's like three's way up there.
3 is more. I mean, when I bought mine, I think Sonic 1 was about a £5. I think Sonic 2 was about 8. But then Sonic 3 cost 20, 25.
Yeah, I think it's more than that now.
Yeah, it took me forever to find one. And then Sonic and Knuckles is like more than, again. I mean, something people won't know is I think I've got every Mega Drive Sonic game now, including Flicky, which is the one I wanted forever.
Yeah.
But my Sonic and Knuckles is a special one because I didn't know this when I bought it, but it's not in the normal cardboard box.
Right.
The plastic case, and from my research, it appears to be a Woolworths display box.
Oh, really? That'd be worth a little bit then.
Well, I don't know how much it's worth, but I was offered 250, and I said no.
Oh, that's a lot. Again, that's a horrendous amount of money. Was that recently or
a year or so ago?
Okay.
They kept offering me money. I don't think they were taking the hint that I was like, to be honest, I really want to keep it because although I could buy it to do that, buy another one for like 30 quid, it's like old school Sonic's a big part of my life. In fact, Sonic's my favourite character. I love the old school Sonics. It's like having something special like that in my collection. It's like I think I want to keep it.
Yeah, and not knowing that as well, how sort of special that was.
Exactly.
Oh, I'd hold on to it.
I mean, I bought it from my local retro shop because I saw he had it, and when I told him, he was shocked. Like partly that I hadn't sold it, and also how much I was offered. But it's like, but he understood it. And I think that's the thing. If you're an old school Sonic fan, it's like having something special to do with that. Like from mid-90s when Sonic was at his prime. It's like something you want. And that's why I think all the old school Sonics are my favourites, but especially 1 and 2. But 2 is my personal favourite because it's the one I've connected the most with. And I've had so many memories of doing the 2-player. There's so many better level designs that I enjoy playing through. Chemical Plant, Hilltop Zone. But even now, when I see something else to do with it, it gets me excited. Because I went to Germany a few years back, about 2013, I think it was. So, although it's like 8 years ago, it was still 20 odd years after Sonic 2 came out. And we were in Berlin and we found this comic shop. And in this box of comics, I found a Sonic comic. Just randomly opened it on a page, and it was Chemical Plant Zone. And it was, I wasn't sure it was. I just knew it was a Sonic comic because like it had Sonic on the front of it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I opened it and saw Chemical Plant, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
It's old school Sonic. I'm having it.
Yeah, you collect a lot of Sonic stuff, don't you? So.
Oh, I've got loads of random stuff. I've got some kids' sandals from Next. I've got in a charity shop. Got mugs. Got loads of plushies, baubles, rubber ducks. That's a relatively new thing. I even went and bought Sonic X, which is a game based on the Sonic X cartoon, on the Leapfrog.
I've never ever. I think I've ever seen anybody playing a Leapfrog. I've seen lots of loose cartridges around, but never seen anybody with one.
No, I haven't. But I saw that. I was like, I have to have it. In fact, what I've recently done, I think it was on Friday, was my FIFA bookcase. I know people have seen it. I've rearranged it a bit, and now that whole top shelf is my main Sonic games. And it's got the little Burger King toys from 1998 in the front of it.
Right. They'd be worth a little bit as well, won't they? I'm sure.
Possibly.
Quite collectible, those sort of things. But then you find when you're in this sort of line of collecting that you end up falling in with a certain character or a series, and you just end up collecting everything. I know Sean's got his Call of Duty obsession. You got your Sonic stuff as well, so it's very easy to sort of have a sideline in that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my favourites are Zelda, Pokemon, Sonic, but Sonic's got something special. I think it's because it's the one I've been associated with and had in my head since I was like when I started out gaming with the Sonic got 2 on Master System. So it's like it's always stuck with me, and I just love getting Sonic stuff, especially the older stuff.
Yeah, I always looking to wind up with a copy. I've got Sonic 1, 2, and 3 on the Mega Drive, but I don't know where I got Sonic 3 from. I've obviously picked up in a bundle or something, but I certainly didn't buy it for any particular reason. I just acquired it in a load of other stuff. But yeah, great game. Sonic 2, I think, is a classic. I do like that game. I was blown away by when I first played it, and I absolutely love it. So, excellent choice, my friend. I was expecting a Sonic game on there, to be honest with you. I wasn't quite sure which one you go for.
Yeah. Had to be that one for me.
Well, let's jump back to your gaming history then.
Yep.
And we'll tackle the other 3 games shortly. So we had the N64.
Yep.
And then where did you go after that?
Well, I mentioned to you that after the 64, it was the GameCube.
Yes.
Although, thinking about it, it was kind of like at the same time. It was GameCube and Game Boy Color at first.
Yeah.
Because I got my Color quite late. So then got the purple Color, which is the best looking one in my opinion. The solid one. Got that. And then that's where I started getting the Pokemon games, which is so I still get now. But then what happened was a bit later on, we went and got the GameCube. So we traded in the 64 and my Game Boy Color to get the GameCube.
Right.
Wasn't on release. It wasn't long after that. Because I know we bought Smash Brothers Melee about a month or 2 after it came out.
I'm trying to remember when that was because I got my GameCube on launch.
It came out, I think it was 3rd of May 2002.
Was it?
I think so. Because Wind Waker came out, I think, about pretty much 1 year to it coming out. And I got Wind Waker on release.
I can't remember as soon as I did actually buy Super because I again not a game series I particularly enjoy after playing Melee because it just didn't click with me at all. I just couldn't see the point to it. I just thought I just don't get this. So yeah. I ended up trading it back in again.
I mean, I'm sure people are going to be annoyed with me here, but Melee's the best Smash Bros. In my opinion. I love them all. But Melee is the one for me. It's my Smash Bros. In my opinion. If I had a choice, I'd play that one.
But is it 3, 4 games, isn't there? I think now.
Now there's 6.
Is it?
I think so. There's a 64 one, which I've got. Melee, Brawl for the Wii U, and 3DS. I've got both of them, and then Ultimate for the Switch. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. I forgot there was one on the Wii U. So yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
But this probably won't surprise people either. The first game I actually got for GameCube. Well, one thing people won't know is we actually got it before we got the GameCube because we saw it. And I remember paying, I think it was £33 from GameStation for it, pre-owned.
Cool.
I remember random things like this.
Yeah.
And it was going back to Sonic 2, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Right.
Which is still, in my opinion, still a really good Sonic game. The camera's iffy, but I really enjoy playing it. But because we both like Sonic, it just seemed the perfect game because we also needed a multiplayer because it's for me and my brother. So it's a perfect game to start on the GameCube with. And then we got Melee, and soon when it came out, I got Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh, but you wish you like that now.
Yeah, I mean, the one I've got now is actually the one I got at release.
Oh, so you still got it?
Yeah. What happened was I ended up selling it to my brother, but I bought it back. Or rather, I bought my friend's one, and then I swapped with my brother to get my original one back. And it's got the limited edition Ocarina disc and all that on it.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's a good one to have, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it when I played it, but I didn't get the same thing as I did with Ocarina of Time. But over time, I've come to really appreciate it. I mean, I prefer the Wii U one, but that's more, I think, quality of life.
It's HD one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like you can sail faster, for example.
Yeah, that doesn't make a difference. You know, just put the sail up or something and wait for a stronger wind.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not a sailor,
but and also I used to play the Wii U one with Miiverse when that was a thing. But with the GameCube, then it's like I just got more and more games that not just I played, but my brother played. My friends had it as well, so there were games we were all getting and playing together. So we got Soul Calibur 2, which was awesome to get a link on it. So if you don't know, I am a Zelda fan. We got Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, great game.
Yeah, and I've already pre-ordered the new 20th anniversary one.
Is it coming on the Switch, is it?
Yeah. And it's a remake of basically the first one, second one, and deluxe, so the good ones.
Yes, yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that because that's one of my favourite games. That was a game I didn't know anything about, and when we bought it, the GameCube at launch, we had a choice of games. One game was Wave Race, which I didn't go for, which is unusual because I quite like that. There was obviously the Rogue Leader.
Oh yeah,
which was a no-brainer. We had that one. Pretty sure there was something else, and then there was Monkey Ball and
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to play two-player, you see. So I wanted the Star Wars game for me, and I wanted something I could play with the missus. So we said, well, this one's two-player. And we had no idea what it's about. I'd never even heard of it. I'll tell you something. It's one of the funniest experiences we've ever had playing that game. Me and the missus just played it back and forth. It was just... And the giant boxing gloves in the ring trying to knock each other out of it. And then you got rolling down the ramp and... trying to land on the
target. That's my
target. And the game itself, the rolling around the tracks and trying to get to the end, and just completely and utterly unexpected.
I think the perfect review I saw for it was, we have no idea who came up with the idea of putting monkeys in balls and rolling around levels, but whoever it is a genius, and of course they worked for Sega.
Yeah. But that's where it comes from, and it comes out on a Nintendo system, which is where you expect it to be, that sort of game.
Yeah, I mean, we got that before too long, and I do not regret that one bit because, as we've both said, it's a brilliant game. And what happened was, after I was still getting more GameCube games, and then I bought Rebel Strike.
Yeah, I must get that one. I've never played that, but I keep hearing about it. I must try and find a copy of that.
The thing with Rebel Strike I found is it's a bit weird because you get running around sections, but it's got a couple of other bits which are really cool, which is you get a co-op rogue leader on there. And I don't know if you know about it, but the arcade games are on there.
That's what I want to get it for, because I don't actually have any sort of... I don't know any emulated copies of them, so I'd like at some point to get hold of that game just for the original arcades on them.
The cool thing is, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler, it's just like a little thing that happens, but when you go to the arcade machines, it goes all disco. And you're Darth Vader, so I just have a little jig as Darth Vader going like...
Yeah, there we go.
Around Darth Vader, spinning around and all that.
You're selling me on this, yeah. I'm in now, definitely. I'm going to get hold of a copy of that game.
But yeah, Rebel Strike. I mean, I bought Rogue Leader later on, but I think I'm glad I went Rebel Strike. I think the other game that really made the whole GameCube bit for me, because between the 64 and the Wii, we had it for 3-4 years, but in terms of the games, there's so many good ones. And the one which might surprise people, might not, was 007 Nightfire.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And you won't know this because I did it the other day, but this episode will go after that one. But the last person I spoke to, last guest, we were talking about Bond games as well, and we were both of the opinion that Nightfire was an absolute great game, but also all the original Bond games. So Agent Under Fire, Everything or Nothing, and then jumping forward to something like Bloodstone on the PlayStation 3. All great games. Yeah. Not tied into the film. Okay, they're set in the Bond universe, I suppose, the best way to describe it, but they're as good, if not better, than the games that came out based on films. Yeah,
I think definitely with the exception of GoldenEye.
I said most of them.
I mean, I have, like I said, we played Quantum of Solace, which is a solid game, but could be a generic shooter, but Nightfire to me feels like a Bond game.
Yeah, they all feel like it. They all do, even down to the sequences at the start.
Yeah,
the music and the opening graphics. It feels like this should be a film.
I mean, this one you go through Paris chasing a lorry, and you shoot an EMP, for example.
Yeah,
and then you get the whole thing like you do in the Bond films, like the title things, like staring down the barrel of the gun. it's like it gives you that Bond experience, and it shows that EA made good Bond games generally as well.
They did. Were these only 3 they had, wasn't it? I think
Agent Under Fire, that, and Everything or Nothing. Did they do Russia with Love, or was that someone else?
I don't know. I'm just going to.
Sec.
Yeah, so I was going to reach my PlayStation 2 stuff. It's slightly out of reach.
I've got it right here. Yeah, that was EA.
Yeah, see, again, that's a very underrated game.
I haven't played it yet, but I've got it.
It's a very, very underrated game. I enjoy playing that one. It's a good one. It makes me wonder why they stopped doing them after those.
Yeah, they sold it to Activision. I think it was the rights. Yeah,
very, very strange considering that all 4 of those games are all solid games in their own right. To the point where before you're thinking playing Nightfire or something like that, well, I can't find it. James Bond film called Nightfire, I can't find it anywhere. There isn't one. It was an original adventure. They're that good. I think
the other thing is the multiplayer is really good on Nightfire.
Yes, it is. Yes. My last guest said that as well. In fact, you know what we said earlier about Quantum of Solace?
Oh, yeah.
I think we could apply the opposite in this case, whereas Quantum of Solace, if that hadn't got the Bond license attached to it, would be a generic shooter.
Yeah.
If Nightfire hadn't got a Bond license to it, it would still be an excellent game. I feel that, and I think all 3 of them, not from Rush with Love, because obviously that's based
on a film. Yeah.
On a film, it's a bit tricky to pull that one apart. Although if you apply the same to Quantum of Solace, I suppose it's the same thing. But if you took the Bond license away from those original titles, they would hold up on their own. I think. I don't think there's anything generic about them at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've played all 3, but I think, in my opinion, Nightfire is the best one.
I think you're right. I think Everything or Nothing I quite like. But Nightfire, probably, I would agree with you, is the best of the 3.
I mean, the one thing that me and my brother absolutely still love on Nightfire, and the main thing we play it for now, to be honest, is in the multiplayer, you can use Oddjob's hat as a weapon. And there's you might remember it. There's a multiplayer level where you're on a snowy hill, and we literally just it's called Chateau or something like that, and you literally throw the hat up the hill just in the hope that you hit someone.
I can't remember that.
Or you see them standing on like the cable cars, like just try to sort of like hit them as they go by slowly.
But that's the thing, you see, it's a weapon in the films, so
exactly.
It's exactly should use it, silly as it sounds, but it is. But yeah, I mean, they were great games. You got quite a lot of decent stuff for the GameCube there, then.
I think that's the thing. It was like when we got it, we didn't get like loads, but we went for the ones we like, and it just so happens to be a lot of the better ones. I mean, it's kind of shared, but we had our own game. So my brother got Sunshine for Christmas, Mario Party 4, Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, etc. And I had mine, like Soul Calibur, Star Wars. But we still ended up playing a lot of them together, like Monkey Ball, Sonic, and all that. And also, some of them were based on what we already liked: Star Wars, Bond, Zelda, Sonic, etc.
Because you got quite a lot of use out of it. I can see why, obviously, with the family connection. And I wish at the time I'd given mine more chance. But I was frustrated when I got it. The lack of quality software that came out for it was minimal to start with.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got so far into it that we thought, do you know what? We were looking at other options, and I don't regret it because I got an Xbox. I traded my GameCube in for an Xbox, and I don't regret that because I love the Xbox. But looking back now, I think if I'd thought a bit more about it, I could have appreciated the GameCube a little bit more. It's a system I do like now. I've always, again, one of the very early sort of things I picked up was Donkey Konga.
Oh, yeah, Donkey Konga is really fun.
With the bongos. Bongo, I mean, what the greatest peripheral known to man. I
know the greatest cheat for that game as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. You get them sections where you have to clap continuously, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't. I just scream, and it picks up the whole time. And my mum was like, stop it, you're cheating. And I'm like, no.
But yeah, it's a great game. It's I love it, and it's a great system. Again, at the time, you look at the options you had available. Your PlayStation 2 got a DVD in it, Xbox got a DVD in it, all but you had to buy a dongle to stick on the front. The GameCube was just for playing games, and you had the little discs. So, same as mentioned with the N64, a pure gaming system. That's all you could do on it. Same with the GameCube. I know they got criticised and slated for it at the time. I always know it wasn't multimedia based. It didn't need to be. No. But for me, the software just didn't come out quickly enough, and that's why I moved on. No, I do regret that a little bit.
I think the other things which aren't necessarily always appreciated with the GameCube is, I think general opinion, it's definitely mine as well, is it's one of the best controllers of all, like ever.
I agree.
But also, when it came out, it was only £130.
Was it?
So it was £130 on release.
I'm sure it's more than that.
No, it's £130. And you had two colours, purple and black.
Yes, you said you
did anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, well, 130, that sounded a bit cheap.
Well, put it this way, the Wii was only 180.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no.
I can't remember what I paid for mine. Because I got it on launch, I can't remember what I paid for it. Might have been a bit more than that, because I only had one game or two games with it, I think.
I mean, to tie it into what I would say is, I don't have loads of history with this console, but to sort of tie it together, there was also the Game Boy Player.
Yeah.
Which I finally got. I mean, it's a Japanese one I've got, but you can play Game Boy Advance games or any other Game Boy game on it. And actually, thinking about Game Boy Advance with the GameCube, that's one other big game I got as well, was Pokemon Colosseum.
Right.
Which was, for me, relevant. And it's like, good to play a proper game on the TV. And I used to play it with like my best mates all the time. So that was a big game for me on the GameCube. I don't know how I forgot it.
I nearly bought a Game Boy Player at a car boot years ago for $5, but I now realise that I dodged a bullet on that one because I hadn't got the disc with it.
Oh right, yeah.
They say, I mean, at the time I thought, do I really need that? No, because I'd only just started collecting retro stuff. I thought, I don't even know what it is, and I'm glad I did that, because if I bought it without a disc, I'd have been kicking myself trying to find one. So I may get one eventually. I'm overly fussed about finding one. It's good if you can find one. Yeah.
My one's a little bit different because it's Japanese one, but the base unit itself can go on any GameCube, play any Game Boy game, but the disc needs to match the region of the console.
Yeah.
So I've got a Japanese GameCube, but I've got the exclusive to Japan Spice orange one.
Yes, I've seen that, yeah.
And the player I managed to get was the orange one as well.
Oh, so it all matches up.
Yeah, so it's like pure Japanese, the disc, and technically the player and the GameCube. But I can play my English Game Boy games on it, my American Game Boy games on it.
It's perfect then.
And that was, I think, £100, and I got it. I think it's end of April I got it.
A worthwhile investment.
Exactly.
It matches everything up, and you can play the games that you need to play on it as well. So, yeah, it sounds like you got a lot of joy out of all these systems so far, which is good. Yeah. So after the GameCube,
it was the Wii.
It was the Wii.
A little stop with the Game Boy Advance, which sort of tied in with both. But I'll go a bit more into that a bit later on. But yeah, pretty much we went from the GameCube to the Wii. And I remember we got it not on release. I think it was about 2 months later. We got lucky, I think. Bought it from Play.com at the time.
Ah, God, Play.com. That's going back a few years, isn't it?
Yep.
They still going now, aren't they? Gone now.
From what I'm aware, not as Play.com. They got bought out by Rakuten.
Okay.
As far as I remember. It's more Marketplace now. Not checked it for a while. I might need to.
So I used to use Play all the time, and I used to use Play USA for Region 1 DVD. So I had a Region 3 DVD player. Or I had a DVD player I'd put a code into and made it all Region 3.
Yeah.
So the great thing was you can get Region 1 DVDs probably about 3 months after the films have been in the cinema.
Oh, right, yeah.
Over here. So I remember I didn't even see it in the cinema. I got Region 1 copy of Jurassic Park 3. practically about
cool.
3 months after it'd been out in the cinema for about 12 quid. It was
Oh,
brilliant.
cool.
Super system that was.
Because it was, you had to pay what, about, I think, 6 months was it normally for it to come out, like home release, and another 6 months or something, I think, for TV at the time?
It was at the time, I think it was 6, it was 6 to 12 months before it appeared on Sky.
Mm.
And then I think it was maybe another 3 months or so after that before it came out on DVD. I think it was the other way around. I can't remember. I used to know all this stuff.
I think DVD was first, then it was Sky, then TV.
Yes, of course it would have been. Yes. So I think there was like a 6 month wait for DVD. You said, I think anything up to 18 months before it appeared on television.
Exactly. I think even now you have to wait a while still for some films.
Yeah. So you can get this 3 months after it'd been out in the cinema over here. It was just great. I used to buy loads of Region 1 from Play USA.
I mean, I never used the USA one. I just used the base one. But I was talking to someone about it not too long ago. I was like, I really miss it because I mentioned the manga earlier. I used to buy them for like £2. They were like £2, no delivery, generally really good condition. It was like I could pay £10 to get 5 manga that I really needed, really good condition, and they came quickly. And then Amazon was good, so they introduced the stupid delivery changes. It's like, yeah, thanks for that. Like £10 on my manga. It's like, yeah, great, cheers. But we got our Wii from there. I remember at one point we were supposed to hear an update, didn't? My mum rung them up, and I don't know if that accelerated ours or what. But we ordered it, and it came with Zelda Twilight Princess, which was the big launch game.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
So it was like, okay, got a console like 2 months, if that. It might have been near 6 weeks after it came out with the big game. But what was funny was, no one believes me with this, but I'm genuine here. I wasn't feeling well, and it came that day. So I did at college. That is a coincidence. No one believes me. I'm like, I'm serious.
That's because everyone takes days off work or whatever, because Call of Duty's coming out, so take a day off work to go and play Call of Duty all day, or this is coming out on a certain day, I'm taking a day off work or whatever. I've taken a day off work when I first got hold of a game.
I do all the Pokemon games. I always take the release day off.
I've done that with Championship Manager before. Now the new Championship Manager couldn't come out. I thought, right, it's coming out on this day. I'm going to book those 2 days off work and I'll spend playing it 2 days.
Well,
no.
my excuse. I mean, I was genuinely ill. Like, I think it's like cold headache and everything. But it was also the start of January, so that was my excuse.
You're sticking with it. You're stuck with it.
Yeah. We actually also got We Play with it.
Oh yeah.
Because it's mine and my brother's Christmas present. Obviously needed 2 remotes. It's why I paid £30 for a remote. We pay £35, get a remote and another game. So we got that as well.
For a fiver, yeah.
Exactly. But it was Zelda we were playing most of the time. And of course you got Wii Sports with it.
Oh, they're one of the great packing games. What about Nintendo and packing games? That just seemed to, Wii Sports is one of them. Tetris is the other one, isn't it? Really, just what's what they call it? Flipping, I forgot the word now. Killer app.
Oh yeah,
that's what they did. It wasn't known when they packed the Tetris game, but that's what we call it now. The killer application was Tetris. That's why Game Boy sold millions of units, and the same with the Wii, because my dad bought a Wii on the basis of playing on Wii Sports.
Yeah.
His sister-in-law's house. He's played on it twice since he's had it, which must be about 13 years now. But like a lot of people, they bought a Wii on the basis of that. When I first played on the Wii, because my friend had one, she brought it round and we were playing bowling and all that. It was brilliant. I thought, we've got to get one of those. And immediately I was told at the time, no, we're not having one of those because you're going to sit there in the corner like the Xbox gathering dust. So we didn't get one. And eventually, that friend of ours moved flat. Yeah. And because we went to help her, she actually gave me the Wii because she wasn't playing on it. She said, oh, you can have that. So I said, thank you. It's like, wow. And it got like Twilight Princess and Resident Evil 4 with it and Wii Sports. So only about 5 or 6 games, but like really good ones. So, and then that went in the cupboard until I moved here. So it really didn't make any difference whether I bought one or not, or whether I was given it. It just didn't do anything. So obviously it's a bit different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't see that coming then?
Well, no, but I always joke to people, and if you ever watch my videos, I always say there's like a tiny little section in the corner there which would hold 10 games like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing. Sorry, I'm showing Martin an illustration here, and he's. But no, I used to stack about 10 games that would fit on my shelf, just one stack where the Wii is. There's even a label for it there, which you probably can't see, but it says Nintendo Wii. That's all I had at one point. And then the whole reason my wall of Wii, which I sit in front of, is there is because the games are so cheap. I was picking up games for 25p at CEX. That's why I started. I thought, well, all these are so cheap. Why are they so cheap? Well, I must start collecting for a system, start collecting for that. That's why I started collecting for it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was doing. I mean, mostly because of space, I've had to slow down, focus more on the Wii games that I really, really want, because I think there were actually quite a lot of good games that people don't realise are actually on there. I mean, Mario Kart, for example. It's not my favourite Mario Kart. That would be Double Dash. But Mario Kart Wii is a really good game. Way more exciting than Mario Kart 64, in my opinion. I used to sit there with my mate, and we used to literally go through every race. Like, so who gets most points? Normally me. But obviously you got Galaxy 1 and 2. Smash Bros. Brawl was good. The thing I liked about that one was it introduced Sonic, which was awesome. And you could do the whole Mario Sonic. But then there was stuff which wasn't really feasible before. So it brought in, say, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Yeah. Which is a really fun game. I'm just trying to think what else there was. And I know some people consider it tap, but I actually quite a lot of the game show quiz games that are on there.
Yeah, I like those as well.
In fact, I think I remember you played Countdown on there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer the DS one. It's a lot easier to play.
Yeah, it's not the most user-friendly way of playing Countdown, I'm going to be honest with you. But
no, the DS one's much more like that.
But it's but you say there's a load of rubbish on this. So there's a lot of dross in the way. Yeah. And it always gets tarred with that. I keep saying it always gets tarred with that brush. But you look across every single system ever. Don't forget, PlayStation 2 had far more games than we did. Yeah. And a lot of those games got ported from not PlayStation 2, got ported across to the Wii. And those are the ones that get slated, and the ones on the PlayStation 2 don't get slated. And the PlayStation 2's got a load of crap on it. I don't care what people say. There's a load of crap on it. There's obviously some really good games like there is with the Wii, but there's an awful lot of rubbish. And you'd find that through microcomputers, 8-bit, 16-bit. There's so much trash on each system. No matter how good the system is, there's the DS. Loads of rubbish for the DS. Yep. That's why there's so many games for it. It's just so. But you have to look really hard. And I can understand why people, when they go for when they click games to the Wii, they pick games to the Wii. Oh, I only want this many, which totals about 100. And you can understand why they want to do that, because you're picking the 100 probably best games for it. But there are a lot of, within the other 1,100 games you don't want, there are games that you've never heard of that you may be dismissing because the cover looks terrible or whatever. But there are some seriously good games for it, which you just fly under the radar. The Trauma Center games, for example. Yeah.
Or I think personally, Wheel of Fortune is one me and my fiance play a lot. Yeah. That's quite a good game, but I'm sure a lot of people would just dismiss it. Yeah.
And the one I've talked about before is Red Steel 2. Yeah, because when Red Steel came out, it was a pretty broken game, and no one seems to. A lot of people, when I put that video out and did a collection about it and talked about it, so many people must say, "I didn't know there's a Red Steel 2." Well, exactly. Yeah, because everyone said Red Steel 1 was rubbish, so everyone's just gone off everyone's radar. Red Steel 2 is a fantastic good game. It's a completely different game, great setting behind it, beautiful artwork in it. It's a really, really good game, 10 times better than the first game. And it used to be dirt cheap, but it's creeping up in price now. Because the first game was so terrible, when they made the sequel, nobody bought it. So it's one of those games which is getting a little bit more difficult to find. It's creeping up in price a bit. So...
Yeah. I think the other thing I find with the Wii is, and I'd say the DS as well, but more the Wii, is it's also one of the best games to find bargains for where you are game hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, an example for me would be New Super Mario Bros. U. Found it for £1 mint condition in a charity shop.
Oh, the Wii version, the New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah, the one in the red case.
Yeah.
Found that for £1. I found Mario Kart Wii for £2. I think that was just before lockdown in November.
Yeah, there's loads of bargains. Loads of bargains like that.
Because loads of people had Wii's. There's loads of the games out, and every now and then you do come across the good ones, and they are cheap a lot of the time.
And some of them are quite expensive to pick up as well.
Exactly.
Even the last FIFA 15. That'll set you back a few quid.
Yeah, I got
it for 49p.
Well, there you go.
in my cash converters last year because I thought it was, shovelware. So it's a FIFA game for, we don't want this 50p. And I thought, I know that's worth at least 15 quid.
That's the thing. It's like one of the FIFAs I need. I think it's the only one I need. But I never see it anywhere. Or I think the one time I've seen it was going for 20 odd.
I think the only one I'm missing on that one, I don't know, bore people with FIFA chat. I think 14's the one I'm missing.
Yeah, I got 14. I think I got donated it.
I'm not sure whether it's 13 or 14. One of them, no, it's 14 I'm missing. There they are there. Yeah, I've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 15. So 14 is the one I'm missing on that one. Not that I'm collecting all the FIFA games for it, but it would be nice to have the entire run. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. You're collecting all the FIFA games for it. But look, joking aside, it's one of those systems which people either like or they don't. There's no middle ground with it. You either love the idea of the Wii or you hate the idea of the Wii. Those who love it like you and me embrace it. And, it's not my favourite system, but people associate me with it because there's so many behind me. And I like being associated with it. And there are some, as I said, there's some fun games. Like I said, there's some complete crap on there as well.
I was going to say, the other thing is I liked how it, a few games linked up with the DS.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the DS literally the day it released. First one when Game Station opened, I bought before school that day, so I was well happy with that. But, I mean, I know it tied up. For me, I think the most common tie-up was between Pokemon game Diamond and Battle Revolution, because I used to play with that. But also, I think the Wii was when I was buying my games from Play.com still. So this would have been, 07, 08, somewhere like that. And the Pokemon one, I literally got the day before it came out, and I'd completed it before midnight. So I completed it before the game even came out officially. I was going on there like 6-7 hours.
But you mentioned that, of course, the thing is, if you got the original Wii with the backwards compatibility on the GameCube as well.
Exactly. That's what happened was our GameCube ended up pretty much dying. So we just used the Wii. It's like, there's no point buying another GameCube. We'll just use the Wii. I think the one issue is it could be a bit awkward, especially when standing up to like plug the controllers in, because they like stick out the top. Or if you have it sideways, then the disc is at a weird angle. Yeah,
it's not the greatest sort of setup on it. But the good thing about the Wii is it goes up and down in price. I mean, last year during lockdown, it shot up in price. As did a lot of the fitness stuff to go with it. A lot of fitness stuff the Wii Fit board and the accessories and all the fitness games went up in price. Then when lockdown finished, it plummeted again.
Yep.
And I think it's back. It's back at about 65 quid now or something like that in CEX. I think.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that shows how much it changed for me was, I think it would have been start of 19 or something like that, mid 19. My girlfriend. Well, fiance. I'm so used to calling her girlfriend.
If you get used to calling a wife at some point as well, mate. So.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But she got the Wii Mini, the red and black one, where it opens up on the top.
Yeah.
I think she paid no more than like 30 or 40 quid for that. I think it's 38 quid maybe. And that's for that one, which normally goes for more because obviously it's rarer.
Yeah.
But then, as you say, the actual Wii always shot it past and went up to 60 odd.
It's, but again, it's one of these things you see. You see, I've got given a Wii. I picked up one at a car boot for £2, and I picked up another one for I think, £1.
Yeah.
I've got 3 white Wii units, and I paid no more than the £5 for the 3 of them. I've been lucky with that, but that was the sort of thing you stacked up at car boots years ago. It was PlayStation 1s. People couldn't get rid of PlayStation 1s quickly enough. And then that sort of, in the last sort of 5 years, 10 years, no, that's 10 years, probably not. Last 5 to 7 years, that's the sort of thing you see at car boots. People trying to get rid of the Wii and the accessories that come with it because no one wants to play on it anymore. You won't see that now. Yeah.
I saw one on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was last week. It's a bit of a distance from me. It was like £10. It was like 10 games. There's a few decent ones. I think the Resident Evil, New Super Mario Bros. Turns out it was for the bundle. So it had the Wii, your 2 remotes. And it was like 10 quid. It's like, if I lived much nearer there, I would have jumped on that. Because my wish is, I mean, my Wii cost £15 off a colleague about 4 or 5 years ago. But my one that I'd love to do, I don't know if it'll ever happen, is to find a Wii somewhere, charity shop, wherever, buy it, and it's got a load of the virtual console games on there.
I got lucky with that.
I'd love to find that one day.
I got lucky. In fact, I tell a lie. I've got 4 Wii units, I think. And I did that. I bought one off eBay for £8, including postage. And it was sold as not working, so I wanted to get Mrs. Bear to see if she could do a repair on it. So plugged it in, turned it on, worked absolutely fine, didn't it? And there were a load of the virtual console games on there. So all the Super, Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Metroid, Super Metroid, they were all on there. But about 25, 30 games.
Yeah,
and it works absolutely fine. And I thought, brilliant! What a great way to get that.
Exactly. I think the Wii is definitely underrated. Not as much as the Wii U is, but I think people don't fully appreciate how good a console it actually is and how good some of the games are.
Yeah, I think it needs an appreciation, and I think everyone's quick to dismiss it, but they are surprised sometimes by how good some of the games are, and certainly some of the more varied titles and some of the rarer titles. When you think about Tatsunoko versus Capcom as a side-on fighter, people big fans of both those genres.
Exactly.
It's almost it's always worth buying a Wii for. That game is surprisingly cheap. I thought that game would have been a lot more. I mean, I got mine for £12, but it doesn't seem to go much more than 20. That may have changed over lockdown. I don't know, but yeah, we consider talk about the Wii all night, but we're not going to.
No,
we're going to move on. Let's jump back to your favourite game list. These are the 3 that we got left on there. So which one do you want to talk about first?
I'll get the least favourite of the 3 that are remaining, which is GTA 5.
Your least favourite on your favourite games list?
Well, out of the 3 that are left, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
It's like it's one of my favourite games, but out of all the ones on the list, it's my least favourite out of all of them.
Yeah.
And it was for the 360 because that's where I was playing it, story mode. But then I got the Xbox One version in October, November, and now it's one of my favourite games because I play online pretty much every week with a few of my friends, which has been really good during lockdowns. But like, it's because how many things you can do on there, and how many ridiculous things you can do on there. For example, we'll either just have a mess around and go around killing each other with either running each other over or firing a rocket launcher.
Simple everyday things you have to factor into everyday life.
Or things I don't really know where else I can do it. Like I like hijacking fire engines on there, purely so I can shoot people with the water cannon and watch them just keep falling over and slide down the road. It's so funny.
Oh dear me.
I think I bought the micro light on there like a couple of weeks ago.
But you hate hang gliding. I
do hate it. Well, thankfully, this is a lot easier to do. Thankfully. It's not very good, but it's a lot easier to do. I've got a blimp on there. It's like so many things I haven't really been able to do elsewhere. Just buy a random blimp just flying around slowly.
I don't think Is there another game you can buy a blimp on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably. But I don't know what.
I'd be surprised if you could. I've never heard of that before.
Exactly. It's like random stuff like that. And also, I got killed by a blimp.
How did that happen?
Well, I had my blimp, flew up as high as I could, jumped out, going to parachute down. Of course, there's no one else in the blimp, so it started sinking and hit me on the head. And I literally then fell to my death, cartwheeling the whole way.
Oh dear.
I think the thing is, before I played it on Xbox One, when I played on 360, I completed story mode, got all the money, and I just used to mess around, like go on my dates with the wife on the game, who, funnily enough, shares my actual girlfriend's name.
No way.
Yeah, it's actually both of Amanda.
Coincidence.
Yeah, and even my fiance tells me to go kill my wife on the game, but like in funny ways. So, talking about blimps, I went in the helicopter. She followed me, landed the helicopter on the blimp, and I jumped off, and I was fine. But she was stuck on there, and just saw the blimp slowly sink with her still on it until it went bang.
Oh my god!
I think we stole a boat, crashed it, and then after we crashed it, I was like, "Oh well, just planted sticky bombs and blew up the yacht with her still on it."
Your mind works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
I'm a bit worried now.
As I said, my fiance encourages this, like on GTA, because it's so funny.
She's making notes, mate. She's trying to work out find a way to bump you off when when she marries you, and all this money you got, all these expensive games you've got lurked away somewhere, and she's trying to find interesting ways of bumping you off.
Yeah, I mean, she tells me to go on dates, but what happens is, when I'm on the date or before, I'll do whatever, get the wanted level, get the police after me, and then I'll try to call my wife for a date while I'm being chased by the police. And then obviously get to where she is, and she just runs away because I'm getting harassed by like all these cops. But I think the funny thing I've done on there was I showed I care for my wife on the game because I think we're in a car, crashed into a wall while I was trying to escape the police, and I was like, okay, whatever. Launched a Molotov at her, set her on fire.
That's caring for her.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. And I was like, don't worry, I'll help you. I'll put you out. Nicked the fire engine that came to put the fire out, and then shot her into the wall with the water
cannon.
Well, told you I'll put you out.
No, that take her out, wasn't it? That was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Taking her out, just not how she anticipated.
Yeah. But I was trying to find the romantic angle in that one, but I didn't sense anything there whatsoever. Set her on fire.
I don't think that's what she meant when she wanted it against the wall.
Well, that's open to interpretation.
Exactly.
I'll give you that.
But it's just like there's so many random things either I think of or she'll give me ideas, and then it's just like just watching them happen. And the amount of money I lose just purely in hospital fees for me and her.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've got 30 million, but I'm losing $5,000 on a very regular basis here.
I love the fact. I love the fact you say this is your least favourite game of the three you got left, because at the moment, I think this sounds like an awful lot of fun. This does.
It is, and it's like when I play it with my mates as well. I mean, yeah, it gets annoying when we're trying to do something, get sabotaged, but where we just go around and then we do stuff to each other like this, because that's all story mode stuff. But then it's similar stuff like just stealing a fire engine, just running my mate over casually, or you get these scan and it basically makes people go flying. And it's just so funny doing that, and every time they get up, just shoot them again, or shoot them into a river with it.
I remember playing the first game on the PlayStation 1, and obviously what you could do in that was run people over with the car.
Oh yeah,
and that was quite controversial at the time. It's quite graphic as well. It was top down, not as detailed graphics as he has now, but it was very controversial at the time. But yeah, sitting there laughing at that, and yeah, actually, I was doing exactly the same thing when the first game came out. So
yeah, but it's a lot more detailed now.
Yeah, it's a bit more, what's the word, ingenious as well. Yeah, new ways to kill people using blimps.
Exactly.
Fire, car crashes, fire engines,
Missiles
water
and
cannons.
jet fighters.
Yep. I mean, the opportunities are endless, really.
I mean, I think I've slightly passed out from laughing too hard a couple of times. Genuinely. Because I'm there playing it, and then suddenly I'm there, and I'm like, totally not with it for a few seconds. It happened. I mean, it only happened like I think 2-3 weeks ago last time, which was done a mission together, me and my mate, and then he just jumped out the helicopter. I'm like, oh, okay, see you. So I just turned around, and I literally managed to do it. So he landed on my windscreen.
Oh right, so you.
So it's like that's an amazing piece of flying here. And then somehow, even though I was totally lost it, I was still able to fly the helicopter. It didn't crash, which impressed me.
But that was a bit messy.
Yeah, I recorded it as well. I've got a clip of it on my phone.
Oh dear me. So fun for all the family. Grand Theft Auto 5 on Netflix.
Yeah, definitely.
Could see why you enjoy that one. Yeah. But then again, it's a sort of perfect game if you're on a desert island. You can come up with ingenious ways of killing your wife.
Exactly.
You've got plenty of time to
you find it like my supplies.
Start small and work your way upwards, and just keep coming up with the ingenious ways of doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you picked that game for the right reasons, but it's definitely been fun listening to it. I'll give you that.
Oh, it's fun doing it and watching it.
Let's move swiftly on. 2 more games left on your favourite list.
Okay.
Which one are you going to go with next?
Okay, so the next one is Zelda, and this was between 2. It was Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. Couldn't decide. I still find it hard to decide which one I want, but I went with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Because it has the exploration element, which I think is missing from Ocarina of Time to an extent. Like, you get a whole massive open world region to go explore, which you get in GTA, but with GTA, where it's just going around figuring out ways to kill someone. With Breath of the Wild, I love the whole exploration and the innovation with it. Like, well, I suppose again it comes down to killing the enemies, but you do it in ingenious ways. Like I've seen, you can basically make these sort of ice bombs and then use the wind to blow it towards them and freeze them.
Yeah,
but it's like it gives Skyrim vibes, but I think the fact it's Zelda, it hits me more on a personal level, and it's like, as well as the exploration, you get all loads of Zelda references, so it's got a huge nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
So you see what appear to be areas from Ocarina of Time. You get Link's Awakening vibes from this island. And it's just like almost like the complete Zelda experience. And I mean, again, my fiance loves it, but she loves the fact you can do cooking. You can just find ingredients and cook them together to make whatever you want. So you get like these mushroom kebabs, or you can make an apple pie. It's like, yeah, that's not what I'd associate with Zelda, apple pie, but there you go.
No.
But at the same time, I also enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
Because it's like finding out what happened in the past. And then towards the end, you do an epic journey towards the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Nintendo have done it, it feels like you're starting from nothing. You're building up, you're getting experience of what's in the world around you, how to survive. And you're working towards this final sort of trek towards the final massive boss battle. And then I also love the fact that we know it's going to be continuing with the second one that's coming out, whenever that may be, hopefully next year. But it's like there's so many different things you can do. You said you can do cooking, you can do exploring, you can just go around killing enemies like monsters, and then they respawn when you get a blood moon every now and then. But there's always something new to find as well because it's so big. You get these little mini shrines, they're called, like with a puzzle. There's 120. I've still got like 40 or 50 to find after about 4 years.
How much time have you put into this game so far?
I've put quite a lot, but that also includes playing it through twice. I haven't completed it yet, but I've gone pretty far on the Wii U one, and then I got the Switch one. But between them both, at least 300-400 hours, I reckon.
Good grief!
And that's like just going. A lot of it is just going exploring, see if I can find something random, or deliberately looking for food to make meals, and just randomly riding around on my horse.
That's a huge amount of time. I mean, people know what I'm going to say anyway. I'd never have time to play that amount of. Maybe years ago, but I certainly won't have time to play 300 to 400 hours in a game now.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the reasons Al went in the other direction with this game. The fact you've got to put so much time and effort walking in and walking around and trying to find out what it is and exploring. I mean, for you said exploration is the fact one of the big things is you can walk around and do that. I know for other people, I suppose to accept myself, I'd find that seriously dull. But I do like a more faster pace to a game. I don't like to spend too long. I want to get into something straight away and get on with it. I don't want to sort of spend 20 hours to get a little bit out of the game and know there's still another 50, 60, 70 hours to go into it. Or in your case, 300, 400 hours into it.
I think that's one of the things I do like, knowing that there is still something there I haven't found yet. Like there's always something new. And then it's like also what will happen is my fiance would watch me play it. So it's like almost like we're going exploring together as well. Which is something, and especially for her, because she's not as into Zelda, she doesn't know much either about it. But it's like, I mean, you get the mini games as well, which are fun.
Yeah,
I think they're better on Ocarina of Time, admittedly, but they're still quite fun. Like there's a golf one with boulders, and there's like seeing how far you can fly off this really tall building as such. But I find some of it is actually the challenge. Like, okay, you're here, you got to get here, but it's not just simply like just run there. I mean, you get like you do in a lot of the open world games. Like, have you played Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
Yeah, you get the watchtower thingies which open up the area map. You get them, but it's not just like, okay, tower's here, you're here, just run to it, go up. There's like, say, stuff in the way or part of the path is blocked, so you've got to find an ingenious way to get around it.
Yeah.
And then make your way to it. There's one which is like surrounded by mud. You touch the mud, you drown. So you got to use these powers you get to find innovative ways of like, okay, how can I get from here to there without getting hit by enemies or falling in the mud? It makes you think.
Yeah,
so that's why I like it.
Yeah, it's a less linear approach.
Yeah.
Rather than going from point A to point B. To get to point A to point B, you've got to go through, A 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, carry on around till you get around to that. And as I said, I'd much rather go from A to B. That's a start and that's a finish.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get to with the least possible fuss if I can.
I think the other thing is, saying about that sort of thing, is you have 4 main like sort of bosses before the final boss, but you don't do it in any set order. You can choose like what order to do it in, how much you want to say try and get health and better weapons beforehand. So it's really open in that regard as well. So first game, I sort of wasn't obvious linear, but it was like, okay, try to get weapons, do this one. Second time I'm playing, I'm just going around exploring, getting weapons, getting health, and then I'll go blitz all the bosses at once, like one after the other. So it gives you different ways of playing it. Which I completely see the point to it. I said if I'd had the time, if this game had come along 20, 25 years ago, there's probably an incredibly good chance I would have put a lot of hours into it, because at that time I think a friend of mine was playing, or shortly after that time, he was playing Majora's Mask. Yeah.
On the internet, and he was spending so much time playing that and exploring that game and really enjoying it. And he told me how I said, God, how much time you put into that game? And he said, oh yeah, I come home from work every night, stick it on and play till I go to bed.
Yeah.
But back then you can do that. So this game's probably come on 25 years. It's wasted on me, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad game. I just haven't got the time to put into it enough to sort of say if it's a good game or not. So when people ask me their opinion on it, I say, yeah, it's fine, but I just haven't got the time to put in to get the most out of it.
I think that's the thing also. I found you can easily just spend, say, like half an hour on it and do a fair bit of exploring, getting supplies, getting weapons, and leave it there, for example. So it's also good if you've got, I've got like, say, half an hour. When I'm working at home, I get an hour lunch. I sometimes go on there, just play for half an hour during my lunch. And I still feel like I've accomplished something because maybe I have discovered a new area, or I said I've managed to get myself supplies to go exploring more.
See, again, I can see the reasoning behind that, but I know if that was me, for that game, I simply couldn't put it on for half an hour and just do a little bit. I'd have to sit there for a couple of hours and try and get. Because I know I'd need to put some time into that to get the most out of it. So
yeah,
it's an interesting thought, though. I understand your reasoning, and I can see the reason behind it. And this game's cropped up quite a bit on this series so far. People have mentioned it in passing, very much the favourite game. It is the sort of game that you could sit there for years on end playing.
Well, as far as I'm aware, it got Game of the Year, I think, in 2017. So
yeah,
I could see why.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I said no problem. Aesthetically, it's brilliant. I think it looks superb, especially on the Switch. It's absolutely amazing in high definition. It's a super game, and I can see fully the benefits of it. But for me, it's wasted on me.
Yeah.
And I can't really give it a rating, to be fair.
I think that's the thing. It's like it's one of them games that people generally like or they don't like.
And if you're sat in a desert island game, it's a perfect game to play.
Exactly. You can make it last. And to be fair, it fits in a way because there's actually one part where you are stranded on an island. You've got no equipment. You've got to make do with what's there on the island.
So it's educational at the same time.
Yeah, educational, teach you survival skills.
That's it, providing you can find the right equipment.
Yeah, just conveniently find a rusty sword on the floor.
Depends where you end up with. I'm not quite sure what the how well this is. I'm going to drop you on his equipped, so let's see how you get on with that. Yep. So Zelda Breath of the Wild, like I said, this game's come up a few times already. Not always on the good list, but it's one of them. Right, let's move to your final game choice. Then I know it's another one of your passions.
Well, this is actually my favourite one of all. So I kind of deliberately left it for last as well. And it is Pokemon Ruby on the Game Boy Advance. I've been playing since before it even came out over here. My friend had the first one read in it from America, and I've been in it ever since. But Ruby, which we got it in 2003, is the pinnacle for me. It's like the perfect Pokemon game for me. You said about having spent 300-400 hours on it on Breath of the Wild in 4 years. I spent over 600 on that in a year.
Cool.
I know that for a fact.
Some serious game playing time going on here, Martin.
The thing is, I got a bit lucky with when it came out. It came out, I think it was July 25th, 2003. But what's so convenient it was the day I finished secondary school.
Right.
Finished year 11. So what happened was, because we were in year 11, me and my best mate, we both got on release, had finished for the day. So we were able to go to game station at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And my brother had to spend the morning in school before he could play it. So it's like, this is really good. Rather than being in school, we get to play this game instead. It's like perfect. But it was one that used to bring like a lot of us together, like me, my brother, my cousins, my mates. We all used to play it together against each other. Used to put so much time into it. And it just felt like the perfect Pokemon game for me because you had 386 on there, so not too many. And there were several good designs. You had new challenges to face, new Pokemon to catch. And I love the retro look of it because it looks like a SNES game as such, Mega Drive game. So it's like you can actually see what you're doing, but it doesn't look too modern.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And I think I don't know what else. It's just that's always been my favourite one, and it's just the game I love going to even now. Just playing it for a couple of hours, and then after a while, just restart and go through it.
Because the amount of time you spent on that is equivalent to 25 full days. It's nearly a month of
Is
your
that what
life.
you were doing? You were working.
Yes, I was just working on a calculator. I thought I was going to do it for Breath of the Wild, and I thought no, I won't do it for that. And I thought, hang on, 6. That's even longer. 25 days. That's non-stop.
Well, what happened was I was in the first year of sixth form, but obviously we had like half terms. We had summer holidays when it first came out. It was literally at the start of the summer holiday. So it was, to be fair, for a lot of that time. I had the GameCube. I was playing stuff like Wind Waker, but a lot of the time was playing that. So I was regularly spending 3 or 4 hours on there, at least, if not more.
So I reckon if you chucked the time spent on Breath of the Wild as well, you say 400 hours on that, that'll probably be about 17 days. That's 42. That's the 6 weeks of your life.
Not wasted.
Not wasted. There you go.
Well, there you go.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer.
Yeah. But then
you think that's time well
Breath
spent?
of the Wild and one Pokemon game, and there's so many out now, and I've put like at least 200 or 300 hours into most of them. So I have no idea how much of my life.
Well, we're probably knocking on for nearly about a quarter of a year at least, I would say.
I'd probably say more than that.
Yeah, I'm being generous there. I'm just coming off the top of my head. Mind you, I probably play Football Manager and Championship Manager for the same amount of time, so I can't really complain about that. When you work it out, it's an awful lot of time. It is an awful lot of time. I think Pokemon's something I can't. I've never got into Pokemon. Last episode, I was talking to somebody about Pokemon and not quite understanding it, and I still don't. Lord, I tried, but it's just not my. Oh, it's Al speaking to Al, wasn't it? Yes, not the last episode, Al. And I just, it's just something that passed me by. I've tried to get into it. I've tried to understand it, but no. But again, I have appreciation for people who enjoy it because it is incredibly popular, and it's a big part of people's lives. I mean, Pokemon Go as well. I know you playing that. And people probably never even got into Pokemon before, picked that up, and
I know people who've done that.
Yeah.
What's funny is you get people who play that and think they know everything about the franchise. It's like you know nothing.
Yeah. There's so many different games for it. There are the Nintendo games on all sorts of different systems. Game Boy Advance. You said DS, 3DS, GameCube, N64, Wii U.
It's pretty much every Nintendo console since the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And the 64. I think that's the thing though. People don't realise not only how many games there are, but the variety as well. Like you get the basic RPG adventure ones, you get dungeon crawlers, you got the photos, like snap games, you got pinball, you got a trading card video game. There's a race one.
I tell you, you mentioned that track because I actually got a copy of Pokemon Yellow.
Oh yeah.
So and I tried playing. That's what I couldn't get to. But I did actually find the other day. Speaking about that, I did find a copy of the Game Boy. I think it's Game Boy Color trading card game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that's come from because I certainly wouldn't have bought that. Or if I did, I bought it in a bundle. But I thought I'd lost it. And then because we were clearing some stuff out of the room, I actually found it along with some of the other things I thought I'd lost as well.
I mean,
but the box is pancake flat. I mean, it's like absolutely flat as a pancake, and there's no instructions in it. But it has got the game with it.
Yeah, I've got. I had it when I was a kid, the trading card one. I've got it now, and I've got a Japanese box one as well. And I think I had the guide as well when I was younger. But you mentioned Pokemon Yellow. I've still got my original yellow cartridge, and I bought it. I think the day after it came out for $19.99 from Dixon's.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
gosh,
I remember that.
Years ago, yeah. Because I think mine's one of the common ones with like the ripped label on the front of it. Because every time I see a copy of Pokemon Yellow, it's got the labels flipped.
I don't think mine does.
Mine's not so bad. It's sort of bottom right hand corner, and it hasn't come off. You can still see what it is. But yeah, I always see the same in CX now. Like, it's exactly the same as mine. It's got a rip on it. There's a common thing. They just missing bits and pieces off them.
Yeah, it's not the only one. I've seen that with a lot of the Game Boy ones, especially the first and the second lot, which were on the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
And of course, the thing is, well, with being Game Boy Advance, there's so many fake cartridges around as well.
Oh yeah, especially American ones, from what I've seen.
There's an awful lot of that, so you've got to be really careful what you're picking up. But again, no, I respect everybody's choice. I respect whether it's my game or not. I respect all the choices on there. And what's more important is you can tell by how you're talking about it how passionate you are about, that and Zelda.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing about this hobby. You get into certain franchises and games and genres and what have you, and it just sticks. And you play one, and then something clicks inside, and you play another one, and then you then got to collect the rest of the series. So the passion people bring to this, is fantastic. So
exactly,
I completely respect your choices on that.
It's like, I think Pokemon, Zelda, and Sonic, they're like the ones that are close to me. FIFA's close to me, but that's also more from a collecting point of view. From the actual whole franchise, like collecting, playing, everything. It's everything. And also, Pokemon holds a special spot for me because it's how I actually met my fiance.
Another special reason for it,
Yeah, through playing. Incidentally, I think it was the Ruby remake on the 3DS, actually. On Miiverse, when that was a thing. About 5-6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, literally. I was posting on there in the remake community. She was replying to someone. I posted something. She replied. Just got talking. And then I think I put about my local football team, like Southend United, getting promoted. And that's when she said to me, "Wait, you're from Southend?" I went, "Yeah." And it turned out she's about 40 minutes by bus from me.
Oh, that's
literally the same route goes by our front doors. And it went from there.
Well, what a fantastic story that is. That's brilliant. So in Pokemon spirit, you caught her, really, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, the other way around. She might tell a different story. I don't know, but that's okay. Ask her opinion on that at one point. But there you go. What can you say?
Exactly.
It's not only a fantastic choice, but it's a sentimental choice as well.
Exactly.
No, there we go. Right then, time's a ticking, my friend.
Yes.
Gaming history. Anything else you want to add to that before we move on to the last two?
Just a little bit. I got my 360, which became a big console for me at Christmas 07. That became my main FIFA machine, for one thing. That's where I played most of my FIFA games. Along with the other big games for me were Dead or Alive 4 and Project Gotham Racing 3. Because Dead or Alive is another franchise I really like. I like playing it. I'd say it's probably my favourite fighter game.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Soul Calibur or Tekken and that, but mine would be Dead or Alive. I mean, you get someone who's basically drunk. You get ninjas who stand on your faces. I've got a figure of the main character from the series, Casimir, which I've had since I think 2008, for example.
Yeah.
Like one of the proper PVC figures. And then, as I said, that's where I end up playing games such as GTA 5 originally, Quantum of Solace. So it holds a very special place for them as well.
I must be honest with you, I do enjoy Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. That's always quite good.
Yeah. I've got all three. So I've got the one that we never got.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Dead or Alive 3. I got it from Japan for my Switch.
Very good.
Yeah, my friend bought me it. Like, nice.
I saw this and thought of you. Yeah.
Well, he knew I liked Dead or Alive, so.
Yeah, of course, that would explain it.
Well, that's what he told me anyway.
You mentioned Project Gotham Racing, the series I absolutely love. When I first come across those on the Xbox and then onto the 360. Just a great game series.
I think Project Gotham 3, it was like the first game I played on a 360, but it blew me away when I saw it. Like the graphics and that as well was like nothing I'd seen before at that point.
They're incredibly impressive looking games on the Xbox as well.
They were. And I thought Smash Bros. Melee looked amazing when that first came out, but that was a step up from the 64. But Project Gotham 3 were like a step above everything else when I first saw it. It looked so realistic, even as you sped past all the spectators.
Yeah.
Like, say, down the embankment in London and that.
That's why I love playing racing games now, because it's just the realism is there. But even going back, I've always loved playing races, no matter what.
Yeah.
They don't have to be good races. Even bad races are good fun to play. Not terrible, really bad ones, but middle of the road ones, you can still get a lot of enjoyment out of them. But yeah, PGR was just a great game series. Really enjoyed that.
I think the other one I really enjoyed on there was, I enjoyed Fable too as well. But I'd have to say F1. I enjoyed my F1 games on there. And I think the Psycho comes out again. I deliberately stop, wait for the cars to come back around and go head first into them. How spectacular a crash I can cause.
Yeah, you've got the concept wrong there. I'm not sure what you're doing something terribly wrong there. I don't. It's just. But when I first played Formula One on the PlayStation 3, I was like, I couldn't believe how sort of realistic it looked. It was just, and that was the first one that came out, Formula One Championship Edition, I think, which at one point was selling for a few quid, but it's dirt cheap now. But yeah, I do love my racers. So from the 360.
I had the Wii U, which I've played a fair bit of, like Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker HD, and all that. But it was there, but I was also, I think, playing my 3DS more with the Pokemon games. But I think that's the main game I played on my 3DS, to be fair, thinking about it. I was looking at, it was, because I looked at the activity log literally like 3-4 days ago. And I think out of the first 20 games, I think about 3/4 were Pokemon games.
Which isn't surprising from what we've learned so far. Yeah, same with my DS. Mostly was Pokemon games. But really, on the Wii U, are you a fan of the Wii U? Quickly,
yes, yeah. I love the Wii U. It's just, I said I was playing my 3DS more, and a lot of the games I started playing have since come out on the Switch. So I play on there. But the Wii U, I think it's definitely really underrated. I think loads of the games look really good on there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Wind Waker, for example. I mean, Twilight Princess looks good, but Wind Waker, where it's got the cartoon style, the cell shading looks amazing.
The cell shading, yeah.
It's like the detail, the hair, and you see the water moving. It's like absolutely amazing. So it's more than a step up. It's like a whole few flights of stairs above the GameCube one. But I also like the ingenuity with it, such as on Nintendo Land.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fun game to play, that is.
My personal favourite is the Luigi's Mansion one, where you go around, I find the ghost or be in the ghost and attacking the...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't...
And the way it uses the pad.
I love the pad. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think it's brilliant. I really do like it.
Same here.
And the sound coming out of it is brilliant as well. I've had that sound turned up and the sound turned down on the telly, and the sound coming out of that pad is just great. It really is superb, absolute quality. You know,
I like having both on.
Yeah, that's another good way of doing it. It's a really, really good way of doing it. But yeah, I mean, Mario Kart 8 is great on it. Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed, Mario Maker. What's the one got there? Trying to see at the moment. Mario 3D World.
Yeah,
love that game. Yeah. So many good games for it. It's just a shame what happened. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then there was also other ones I like, which were different, like the Pokemon Tekken crossover, Pokken. Star Fox is on there. It's not great, but it's still a good game. But it's nowhere near, say, Lilac Wars level.
Yeah.
But it works on the Wii U with the pad. So it feels like you're actually holding something and flying, rather than just turning a remote like this.
And there's a Yoshi's Woolly World as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
There's
that's
actually loads of really good games on there. I don't think people realise at times.
Kirby and the Magic Paintbrush.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh man, great little system.
Yeah, I think it looks quite nice as a system as well. And this pad is definitely a prototype Switch.
Yeah. But I always like to think of it. It's not a console in itself. It's sort of like it says prototype for the Switch.
It's a crossover. It's like the love child of a Wii and a Switch.
Yeah, it's sort of like Switch version 0.
Yeah.
You can't call it version 1 or Mark 1, and then the Switch itself is Mark 2 or version 1.
I think the other thing is, obviously you can play Wii games on there, but although it's not as extensive as the Wii Virtual Console, the Virtual Console is still really good on there. Like wide variety. I've got a Link to the Past, Mario 64, and I've got a few other games that were on there. I can't think what. But they're only like £7 a time. It's like, because I didn't have a way of playing them at the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it is my only copy of Link to the Past on there.
Well, if you think about what you'd have to fork out to play that game properly.
I could get a cartridge. I mean, most of my SNES games are cartridge only. And I know somewhere that, as of about 2-3 weeks ago, I had the cartridge of Link to the Past for £30.
It's not bad.
So I get paid Friday. So if they've still got it, I think I'm going to grab it.
I would do.
Yeah, I've got a boxed one.
I was going to buy what was it on the NES, the Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
There was a gold cartridge edition, wasn't it? I think. And it wasn't, the box wasn't the greatest condition, but it was about, I think it was about £50.
Not bad.
And I sort of ummed and ahed about it. Actually, going back probably about 12, 18, ummed and ahed about it. I thought, yeah, can't I justify spending £50 in the game or not? And it was in a pawnbrokers, and I know they used to get it quite a bit. The guy, they don't do many games now, which is a bit shame really, but I knew the guy pretty well, and they said, oh, you can put it on, pay monthly or whatever. I thought, now I'll leave it. And then Dane still went back and bought it.
Oh, right.
And I think you got it for about £45. He got it cheaper than I did, but I was like, God damn. He was also selling a mini Super Nintendo just before lockdown last year. And the day I bought the mini NES for £30. Yeah. And he was selling the mini SNES for £40, I think it was. And I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I should have done, because obviously after that happened, the price at the moment it's ridiculous. I mean, if you can get one for under £100, you ain't doing too bad. I mean, look, I'm very fortunate somebody gave me one.
Yeah.
But, it's a right place, right time, and people,
I've got a couple of them. I've got the Mega Drive and the PlayStation one. Although my PlayStation one has never been opened.
No, I'm hoping to acquire a PlayStation 1.
Mine was £15 on Prime Day.
Yeah, and again, I got Pete Fighter 2 sent me a link to that, and I was like, it's meant to be crap. I know to buy it. £15's been a waste of money. Of course, obviously that's 5 times the price.
Yeah.
But I've spoken to a good friend of mine, and I think I might be buying one fairly shortly. But I think that will probably be the only one I haven't got. So I've got a PC Engine Mini, the Mini NES, the Mini Mega Drive, the C64 Mini, the Mini Super Nintendo. The only one I'm missing, I think, is the Neo Geo. Yeah. I ain't so bothered about that one. I think it just sit in the box. It's meant to be crap anyway, but I've got the Metal Slug games on the Wii anthology anyway. But I don't think there's an awful lot of SNK games that do interest me, mostly fighting games and things. So
yeah.
So you mentioned the Switch. You've got one at the moment as well.
Yeah, getting way too many games for it. My girlfriend says, because I'm running out of space for them. I've got like 50 odd games for it now, and a few of them I haven't played yet. But it's because I've set myself like, I'll buy a cheaper Switch game each month. But there's like so many games that come out for it that I actually want. I mean, just between now and the end of the year, there's Sonic Colors, there's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'm getting both. Monkey Ball, Mario Party. I know there's a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh games coming out, so I'll probably grab them. But there's like also so how many other games. There's like Sonic Mania.
Mm-hmm.
There's not just Breath of the Wild, but Skyward Sword's just come out. I've got that. Link's Awakening and Hyrule Warriors. It's like got all the FIFAs on there, of course.
Goes without saying.
Yeah, got a load of quiz shows. I've got Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Family Fortunes, or Family Feuds. It's the American one. Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, American game. Power Rangers fighting game, which is a pretty good one. Like that's just some of them. Then I mean, there's so many games on there. 2 Point Hospital, Civilization.
Yeah, I've heard about that hospital game. I quite like the sound of that, but I think that's just the doctor in me trying to come out again.
I found it for £25 in Asda, the jumbo edition with all the stuff on it.
Oh, fantastic!
Start of June, I think it was.
Goes to show, doesn't it? These things turn up in the strangest places. You probably wouldn't expect to find that edition in Asda.
Exactly. I was like quite surprised to find that. I was like, yeah, I'm having that.
Well, you don't leave it on the shelf, do you? That's the thing.
The other game I play on there, it's digital, but I've got Football Manager on there.
Oh yeah, how's it work on the Switch?
Football Manager 20. It's the touch one, so it's a trimmed down, but it's still loads on there, like loads of leagues, loads of clubs, loads of players.
Yeah.
So, I think the only difference is I have a team who apparently are very good at penalty shootouts.
Is it Italy? Is it Italy?
No, I'm well, unsurprisingly, I'm like Manchester United in there. I'm not winning the league. I think I'm second at the minute, but I won like all the cups and I won them all on penalty shootouts. It's ridiculous.
Not true to life though, is it? Because the last time they were in a penalty shootout, they lost, didn't they?
Yeah. It's like, how am I winning all these shootouts? And I was beating like Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea in shootouts every time. It's like, what is going on?
If only that was the same in real life, eh? I don't know.
Yeah. but I'm going to get Football Manager 21 on there soon, I think. And I don't know if it's going to be on the touch one on the Switch, but I think it's either the Football Manager app this year or next year is going to have women's football on it as well.
Oh, right. Okay. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully FIFA will have it, because that'd be interesting to have the Women's Super League on there. I know there's some international on there.
That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
I think there's an international cricket version, I think, with the women's players in there as well.
Yeah, I've got some cricket games, but I think the last one I got was like Ashes 2009.
Oh, yeah, this is a more up-to-date one, I think. I was in CX the other day and I saw it on the shelf. I thought, I wonder how much that is. And I saw it was like 28 quid. I thought, I'm not buying that.
No.
For that price. But I did notice there was one of the female women players on the front of it. So I thought, oh, that's good. That's
I've got
good sign.
A women's tennis game for the GameCube, which I didn't know existed. I found it by chance.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that existed.
I don't know what it's called. Something like PWTA Tour or something.
I'll be WTA, Women's Tennis Association.
Yeah, but it's focused on the women's tour for the GameCube.
Yeah,
so.
That's good. Because I know you could. Is it virtual tennis? I'm pretty sure you had the female players in there as well. So, mind you, having said that, Super Tennis on the Super Nintendo and Anna Kournikovas Smash Court Tennis had female players in there. Pretty sure Smash Court Tennis did on the PlayStation 2 as well. But without wishing to hurry you along, we are running short of time. So, right then, mate. So we get down to the final two games.
Yeah.
The one where you want to put a bit more time into it, and the one you hate. We'll leave the one you hate to last. Okay. That's probably a good one.
Hatred for last.
Yeah. Quickly say it on your way out as you run out the door, very, very quickly before you get a horde of people running after you.
Run out of time. That's the excuse.
Yeah. But the one that you want to play a bit more or put more time into, etc., is
Final Fantasy VII
on the PlayStation 1.
Yes. I mean, I do want to try that, but I also want to try the remake as well. But I think I haven't actually got Final Fantasy VII on my PlayStation 1, but I've never got around to playing it much. I played it a bit when I was younger as well, about 12, 13. And I know quite a few of my mates are into Final Fantasy, but 7's the one that's always stuck with me because it's the first one I played. I've used Cloud a fair bit on Smash Bros. Now. So it's just like something I really want to try, because what might shock people, considering how much I play Pokemon, is a lot of RPGs I don't get into because of all the grinding and the turn-based and how they feel slow to me.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy VII wasn't one of them, and the remake doesn't look to be either. So I kind of like want to give the original one another go, put more time into it, but I also want to try the remake and see how they compare. So I know they're kind of completely different, but see how I feel about both of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I suspect it'll be the remake I prefer because I think it's more like real time.
Yeah. Is that the only Final Fantasy game you own? Or do you own any others?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I only own one. No, one I think, which is Final Fantasy X-2.
Yeah. I did have 13, but I don't think I have that now.
I think I've got Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, but I think that's loosely tied in with Final Fantasy, isn't it?
That's Disney and Final Fantasy, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't get on with that either.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I wanted to. I wanted to. It's got Disney in it. I thought I've got Disney cartoon characters in it. It's got to be worth a go. And I sort of sat there and I thought, oh, God,
I think
this is terminal.
the only other Final Fantasy thing I can definitely think of I've got a Final Fantasy trading card game because we found it at Comic Con, so me and my mate bought it.
Okay, yeah.
I think even then, I think I went for the Final Fantasy VII deck because it's what I knew. But I think it might be. It might be the only one.
I just remember playing years ago. I played Final Fantasy 1 off emulation on the NES, and I gave it. I played for about an hour and a half, but I got a flaming clue what I was doing, and I didn't last very long, or an hour and a half. And that was about it. And I thought, it's just not for me. It's not my genre of game, and I believe me, I've tried on other things to try and pick it up, but I just can't. Just cannot get into them.
No, I know the original 7. I think some of the other ones around there are on the Switch, so I'm tempted to get it on there. So I think one of the things is like PlayStation. I've never ever got on with the PlayStation controller.
Really?
Ever. Well, the first one wasn't so bad, but with the sticks, I don't like where the sticks are. It's never felt comfortable for me.
One of the very few people that I think have ever complained about a PlayStation 1 controller, or even a PlayStation controller.
Nintendo, every other controller. I think from what I've heard of the 5, I'll probably be a bit more. I'll be better with it, but I don't know. I've just never liked it, and I think it's also the sticks, not just where they are, but they feel different. So like not as solid or as like some say the Xbox One's like. The PlayStation ones seem to move a bit more or looser. I know what I mean. It's hard to describe it.
That's really strange. I say the first person I've come across to ever say something like that, because I thought it was universal, except the PlayStation controller is the best. I know perhaps as they've gone on there a little bit. I'm not a fan of number 4, the PlayStation 4 one. Must be honest. But the other ones I've got no problem with. But that's weird.
Yeah, but then again, I'm weird. I think we've established that.
Well, we've had a fairly strange conversation, haven't we? So it's so far, and it's going to get even stranger now, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah, because we are now moving on to the coup de grace, the finale, the grand finale, where I always ask to pick a game that you do absolutely hate, but you can't just pick a game because you can't get on with it. We need reasons, and everybody I've spoken to has given me a good reason as to why. I don't want to say necessarily I agree with them.
Yeah.
I can't say I don't know anything about it. I've never played this game, so I can't say whether I agree with you or not. So the game that you've taken is your hated game, your last choice of this episode.
Well, before I say what it is, I think it's basically going to get me disowned by my brother and dumped by my fiance.
All in the space of 3 hours. Before we started this, you're on top of the world. You had a great family relationship. You'd obviously just got engaged. Everything's looking great. Everything's looking up, and all of a sudden, it's going to go flying out the window. And the next 10 minutes, the self-destruct button will be pushed.
Yep.
Go on then.
Paper Mario 1000-Year Door for the GameCube.
I can hear people groaning, and I can hear groaning now.
And why have you kept us for 2 hours 50 before saying this?
Well, it's always the bombshell. You know, you finish on a bombshell, don't you? And on that bombshell,
I was
we'll
about to
see.
say that.
Yeah. That's it. But that is why that's why you go out. You give them something to people to remember you by. They forget everything else that you said beforehand, no matter how well you said it. Luckily, people forget those interesting ways you were killing people. That's gone now. All they're going to remember is this.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay. I've watched people play this game so much in person. My brother, my fiance, and one of the things I just do not like about it is, for some reason, it just irritates me watching it. I don't know why. I think part of it is just how slow it is, or it feels to me. Not like, oh, some of the games are slow, I don't get on with them. So just how slow it is just really irritates me. Like, I can't handle that slow. It's like, why? And then it feels like it drags at times as well, and I don't like that. But the other thing I don't like about it is it's, how do I put it? I mean, the one thing I do like about it is the story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything, give anything away. But at the same time, I think the story's so out there sometimes. And it's like they've extended the story just to drag it out a bit at times. But I like the general plot, but parts of it are drawn out. And just to make the game longer, and it's like, can it just be done with already? Like, get on to the next bit. Like, yes, I'm bored of watching you doing this. Can you just do the next bit already? I think it's also because I generally don't like grinding, but it's like every grinding battle is the same. I just notice it more on there. I mean, I was watching my brother play for it a month or so ago, and he was deliberately fighting these two same enemies just to get experience. It's like, can you just finish already? I'm not even playing it, and I want you to finish. But so I even know what happens from having seen him play it, and it's just put me off playing it. It's not like, oh, this is looking good, I want to try it. It's the one game that's done that. I mean, the 64 one, I don't mind. But this one, it's like I'm not too keen generally on the slow-paced, turn-paced RPGs. And it's like it takes that and just pushes it much more.
Yeah.
To the extreme I don't like.
Did you play the Wii one?
Yeah, that was my favourite one because it's more platformer.
Yeah.
I quite like the Switch one because although it doesn't feel like it drags as much and there's more flexible. How do I put it? More originality to it. Like there is the whole exploration bit. It's not just you go to this bit, visit, come back, blah blah blah. It's like it is different. And I mean, on the Switch one, the bosses are stationary. So you fight a whole bunch. It's got that humour.
Yeah.
I know they tried to put humour into the Switch one, but from what I've seen with that with the GameCube one, but nothing I've noticed on that is there's a lot of going backwards and forwards.
Yeah, I don't like that in games either. You have to go somewhere and get something to come back to pick something else up and then go back to the way you came from before, or there's some reason you've got to backtrack on it as well. I don't see the point in that. And like I said, point, lay it out nicely. Not.
No, I mean it does have its good points, which are funny, but they're so minimal. There's like cutscenes, I think, where basically you're Princess Peach and you're invisible, but you're naked. Yeah, you get Naked Peach on it.
Ah, okay.
But you're invisible. But one good thing I really do like.
How do we know she's naked?
Because you see her take her clothes off. You see the clothes go flying off, but you don't see her.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Like you see her dress peer over a shower barrel, and then you see the curtain, and you can see your moving because you sort of see the outline.
I'm not saying it's a selling point or anything like that, but I'm just it's interested in how you. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing I could do on there, which I do enjoy doing, is it's got not the original Mario game, but levels inspired by it. But you're Bowser, and you just literally stomp or flamethrower everything basically out the way, even the underwater. That's like the one thing I really like about that game. Everything else, I mean, I think the thing that exemplifies it for me is one of the things is you become a wrestling star and you have to make your way through the ranks. But it's one battle, follows basically the same battle against the same battle. It's just the opponent changes, but the battles are basically the same.
There's no variation.
No. Or to me, there doesn't seem to be anyway. And it's like, I couldn't get through it. I've tried to, I just couldn't do it.
Well, you've given it a shot. I mean, that's something. I mean, if after all that you still can't get on with it, then
no, it's like I can't get on with it, and there's other games I can't get on with it. But there's something about that game which is just makes it the extreme case for not being able to get on with it, and there are bits that irritate me.
Yeah, and that's a good enough reason. You know, you're not saying it's a bad game,
no,
because generally speaking, it's a very well regarded game, but doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to like it. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to like it. So we're not saying that this is the game that you don't like at all, which is why it's on this list. We're not saying it's a terrible game. It's just not
my game.
And we have said you have tried other games in the series, which you preferred compared to this one.
Exactly, a lot more.
Yeah, and again, that's not uncommon in game series as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think overall, the one thing the game's good for is resale value, because it goes for so much.
Yeah. I mean, there is a very hefty price tag for this game.
Well,
no doubt about it.
I mean, just for example, I know it was about 120 last I checked. My fiance got hers about 2-3 years ago for 55, and my brother got his 10 years ago for under 20 quid.
It's where you are, yeah, as you said, it's not a. That's definitely. I think I saw it last year at 85.
Yeah, it was
90, something like that. So
exactly.
Yeah, I have seen copies of it. One of these days, I might actually have to hold one just to say I've had one in my hands, and there we go. I do that. I've done that before. Can I just hold that game for 5 minutes? Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? You can have it back there. I think there was a Turtles one. I can't remember what it was.
I know some of them go for a bit. Is it Hyperstone?
I think it was the Hyperstone one, and they had a copy in my local CEX. And I said, "Can I just hold that for a minute?" I said, "You can hold the top of the box. I'm going to run off there, just hold it." And so I've actually held it in my hand. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to pull it down." Because I didn't have no idea what it was, and I was like, "Wow, there you go. You have it back now." That's it. Well, there we go. What a bombshell to finish on there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a, but again, you've given reasons for that. Like we said, it's your personal choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No one's actually to come out here and say this is the worst game ever made. No, it's not. It's just you don't like it.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. But
it has good bits.
Yeah. But going back through everything else we talked about tonight, during this episode, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Great gaming history. Your passion has come through your gaming, and I hope people see that as well, which is great. I hope I said right at the very start of this, to bring you on here to talk about your passion, and people will be able to see that and hear that from what you said all the way through. So it's been fantastic to hear that. There's a lot of stuff there that I haven't heard about from you before as well, which is good.
The psycho side mainly.
Yeah, that worries me a little bit, but there's still time yet, and my personal plea to Amanda is get out as quickly as possible. No, I'm joking. No, but as I said, I've been looking forward to this, and it's been an absolute blast, mate. It really has been.
Same here. Thank you for having me on.
No, it's like I said, it's been great to do it, and we said we're going to do something at some point. I didn't think we could be this sort of thing, but I'm glad we've done it.
Yeah.
And as I said right at the very start, I'll put a link to Martin's channel in the description below. Do go along and have a look. Like I said, I hope he's come across something Martin's humour as well. Some great humour in his videos. He always makes me laugh with some of the things he did. If you ever find that video he did where he's wearing the baseball cap, which I immediately... You look like we look like a trucker one too. I said 10-4, good buddy. Yeah, you honestly look like you'd been on the trucks. That's what it was. So good.
Oh yeah.
And then you had that beret on in that other video as well. That was just so random.
Oh yeah. I just saw it sitting there. I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, why? I thought, why is he wearing a beret?
Authentic French beret. I bought it over there.
Well, that's fair enough, but it's why is he wearing a beret? I've got to find out why he's wearing a beret. No particular reason. He just put a beret on, but that's it. But yeah, like I said, go across and check Martin out. He's as you've heard during this, he's a fantastic chap, and it's been an absolute delight. It really has been to do this, and I thank you again for giving up 3 hours of your time. We're trying to get it done in less than 3 hours, but hey ho, it's just been so much fun to do it.
Yeah, 3 hours well spent. Definitely
Indeed, and we'll do something like this again in the future. I hope.
Definitely.
Yeah, we need to do that. Yeah. In the meantime, folks, thank you very much indeed for listening to this. Like I said, Marty's channel's in the description below. Don't forget there are other episodes available on my channel in the Desert Island game set. Please do continue to watch out for a new episode every Saturday. I've got some other YouTubers coming up, so I've got some more recording to do. But if you haven't got in contact with me about coming on Desert Island Games, it's something you want to do, don't forget to drop me an email in the link from below. You better contact me that way. Got quite a lot of people lined up, but there is a waiting list. So if you do want to pop on at some point, just let me know, and I'll do my best to squeeze you in. It's always I'd like to talk to fellow YouTubers about gaming and their lives and how they got to where they have been today. All that remains to say, once again, thank you very much to Martin for giving up his time today. Hope you've enjoyed listening to this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and tick the bell for further notifications when videos go up. In the meantime, this is the Retro Bear saying thank you very much for listening. We will speak to you again very soon, but until then, take care and bye for now.